Welcome to episode 20 of the Other Star franchise, the anti-fascist Star Wars podcast where a couple of Trekkies from the Star Trek fandom discuss Star Wars. We are currently watching a lot of the Star Wars shows, movies, and animation in chronological order leading up to the release of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Today we are discussing Season 1 of ANDOR.
Woo.
Yeah, I consider it the best Star Wars TV show ever made, hands down, easily.
Yeah.
By like leaps and bounds. But yeah, this is gonna be a big show. Taylor and I are both gonna have a lot to talk about. I'm Fatheree, this is Taylor. Are you ready to talk about some Star Wars motherfucking Andor?
yeah, I'm excited about this one.
Yeah.
But fair warning, this might go over 2 hours.
Well, we're not sure.
We hope not, but it's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, so Season 1, as a lot of people probably know, is 12 episodes. They're kind of like 3-episode arcs,
Yeah.
kind of. I mean, it's debatable with the prison stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, maybe we'll try to spend... I think we can do it in under 2 hours. We just got to spend less than 30 minutes on each arc.
We'll do our best.
It's the equivalent of, 10 minutes per episode. But, there's scenes... I mean, there's scenes. There's fucking shots.
Yeah.
There are shots in this show that I could talk about for well over 10 minutes. Just one fucking shot.
Yeah.
So
it's artsy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about this show, is that not only is it, ambitious and does a lot of outside-the-box stuff for Star Wars, but it also is just so damn good. The acting is so good, the writing is so good, and what especially stands out, not that it's the most important thing, but what, I think really stands out is, the editing is so fucking good and the production design is so fucking good. And it's just well shot. It's good. It's very... When people talk about cinematic television, but in general, TV is more of a writer's realm traditionally, and movies are more of a director's realm. And TV is storytelling that is really built by writers. They're the driving... That's the engine that drives the car of a TV show, or the writers. Mm-hmm. Whereas with a movie, it's the engine is the director. And that's more of the... That's just the force. That's the central force. But this feels like... this is an A24 movie as a 12-episode TV show. I guess 24, but we're not doing Season 2 yet, just Season 1. But we, I guess, should also mention that this show is the prequel to Star Wars Rogue One, which was a prequel
to the original trilogy.
Yeah, but not part of the prequel trilogy. But so it's a prequel to the prequel that's not one of the main prequels.
It's not a prequel to the prequel.
Oh, okay, it's a prequel to the original. I guess it's a sequel to the original, but.
No, because
it's a prequel to the original, but a sequel to the prequels.
Are you feeling okay?
Yes.
Are you just excited? Okay.
Well, it's confusing. It's a lot of words to use. But so Rogue One came out first, and that's a movie that I initially was. We'll just say I was mixed on. We can talk more about Rogue One when we get to it after Andor Season 2. But so I went into Andor Season 1 not really sure if I would like it, how much I would like it. At the time, I was kind of burnt by the Obi-Wan Kenobi show back in 2022, I think, when this came out. So yeah, Kenobi came out in the spring, and then this came out in the fall of 2022. They used to make so much more Star Wars for streaming.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to get us back in the theater with the Mandalorian and Grogu coming out in theaters later this year.
This is actually only the second time I've seen Andor all the way through. Because I was burnt out on the Obi-Wan show too, but I didn't watch Andor. Because I was
you just stopped watching.
I was like, I don't need a backstory on a random character from Rogue One that I didn't love in Rogue One.
You were still really enjoying the Mandalorian and the Ahsoka shows.
Yeah.
It's the other stuff. But yeah, you didn't care about the Rogue One guy before Rogue One.
Right. And I also just I heard a lot that it was grittier, and I don't think anyone explained it to me well enough, honestly. And I think it is a really hard show to tell people, these are the vibes, go watch it. Because it really is a show, I think, You just have to watch it.
Yeah, it's like an experience. It's like when Morpheus explains the Matrix to Neo. He's like, no one can be shown what the Matrix is. You just have to see it.
Yeah. And
no one can be told what it is. You have to be shown.
I just want to clarify, I did really like Rogue One. I just didn't feel like I needed more on any of the characters. So I just didn't feel like an urgency to watch Andor. But yeah, I'm super glad you talked me into it.
Yeah, and like Rogue One, it's a movie I like a lot more now after seeing Andor. Similarly to how like the Clone Wars helps the prequel trilogy. Yeah. I have to make sure I'm talking about like the right properties.
I know.
Yeah, the show had like a ton of like really cool buzz, and I just remember like the first time I was seeing it, I had like a hard time plugging into the show because it's like where I was in 2022, and then some of it I might not have even finished it until 2023. But our friend Dave, who I started the TEX-TREK podcast with, was from the day that like the first 3 episodes came out, he watched it, and people who know him and his viewing habits will know how unusual this is. But he sat down and he started it, and he sat through all 3 episodes that night, and then he restarted at episode 1 and watched them all again. And it's like so hard to get him to sit down for like a long period of time. Like he says like he hates binging shows, he's terrible at it. Like he likes to watch like half an episode, then go make a sandwich, then watch the other half of the episode, then go take a nap, then watch half of the next episode, and then just like stop for 3 weeks, then come back and watch like the next half of it.
He's a chaotic watcher.
Yeah, he's a chaotic watcher. So the fact that like it clicked with him that immediately, and I was watching this show and I was like, man, like I like that it, the production design looks like stuff that could have been made in the 70s, and it's very much like grounded in like that Star Wars world. I want to be, and I just kept waiting for like the show to like do something stupid, and like I kept waiting for it to like, they're gonna make like Luthen a Jedi, and he's gonna flip around and do like a CGI lightsaber fight with an Inquisitor or something. Just like I kept waiting for it to just fall into like traditional Star Wars trappings, but it stands on its own as like, no, we're gonna be like the gritty show about repression, rebellion, and revolution, and I was so impressed that, like, even, like, through season 2, I was so nervous.
Yeah.
And this is my first time rewatching season 1 after we watched season 2 together when it came out last year. And this is like a game-changing thing for me in my Star Wars fandom. But I've said for a long time, as much as I love the original trilogy, or as much as I love things, like, since then, a part of me does kind of wish that Lucas just stopped after Return of the Jedi, and we never got anything else. I mean, like, if you're going to do, like, an Ewok movie on TV, or something animated here or there, like, video games, books, whatever. But, like, I didn't want to see, like, I don't know, like, because I didn't like the prequels, and I always felt like I liked Star Wars more when it was just those original 3 movies. And I have a better time with it now that there's more new stuff that I like. But part of me just still kind of wishes, like, I long for that purity when it was just, like, those 3 movies and not all this other stuff, even though I spent all this time watching it. But now, like, I'm thinking, like, you know what? I'm glad for everything, because Andor's, like, the only Star Wars that I think I love possibly as much as the original trilogy. It's definitely my favorite thing outside of the original trilogy, and possibly something I like on par or equal to that. Yeah. So I'll probably, like, as long as I live, I'll probably never be able to say, like, I like it just as much as the original trilogy.
I would say I like it more than the original trilogy, but that's just, it's cinematography, it's storytelling, the, like, costumes, like, makeup, hair, everything is literally pristinely incredible and well thought out. Like, I love the layers of the show. Like, it's so complex.
It's so juicy. Like, everything, like...
Oh, like, and we haven't even got, like,
I know.
Season 2, like, with the Clea stuff is, like, what I start to eat up. Like, I love Andor Season 1, but, like, I'm excited.
But, yeah, I think I like Season 2 more, yeah. I'm excited to get to that.
Yeah, we're jumping a little ahead, sorry. But, Andor just in general, like, exceptional. Like, I have no notes. Like, I feel like it's very common, like, we're watching this stuff and I eye roll a little. I think kind of you do, too. Like, it's like, well... It is Star Wars.
It's going to be one of those planets.
It's going to be one of those planets. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they do such a good job. Like, And it sucks in some ways that, like, it becomes more and more relatable now. Like, as we watch this back, I'm like, wow, this, like, some of this stuff feels, like, really relevant to today.
The Bad Batch and Andor, like, they tell us, like, this is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, but it sure as hell doesn't feel like it.
Right, and it's, like, it's such a great, like, way to connect with, like, your audience. And, like, just, like, it's, like, not even a metaphor. Like, it's literally, like, this is what happens under fascism. Boom. Yeah. So, anyways, do you want to break it down episode by episode?
Yeah, I guess I just want to remind people, if you're watching us on screen too, you'll be able to see some visuals of our spreadsheet that lists all the episodes that we've talked about and we'll talk about in our checklist. There's a link to it wherever you're watching or listening to us if you want to take a closer look at our Star Wars viewing list. But I want to remind people that while we're doing Andor Season 1 right now, our next show is planned to be Star Wars Rebels Season 1, the animated show Star Wars Rebels. And then we're going to kind of bounce back and forth between Andor and Rebels, because we're in 5 BBY now, but we're about to get to 4 BBY, and then 3 BBY in the timeline, and then there's a lot of jumping back and forth between the two shows that are actually, I think it's true for both of us, these are both of our favorite Star Wars shows ever made.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's also really fun because when we did Andor last year, Season 2, you were specifically excited seeing where, like, Mon Mothma was, like, all throughout Season 2. And you kept being like, I can't wait to watch this in chronological order because we'll get to see Mon Mothma, like, bounce around and, like, we'll follow her wherever she's going. Yeah,
we've been doing that. We, like, saw her in Clone Wars, and now we see her in Andor, and we're about to see her in Rebels. So.
Yeah. So, even though we really want to do, like, a major deep dive on Andor Season 2 straight through, I think this will be really fun to, like, follow all of our characters.
But, yeah, for right now, just starting with the first 3 episodes of Andor Season 1, Taylor is going to quickly recap episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, these are a little bit longer summaries because a lot more happens in all these episodes. So bear with us. We just want to make sure our audience is up to speed in case y'all haven't got a chance to rewatch. In case you haven't
rewatched it recently.
Because we are speeding through this like crazy, so it's a high expectation that everyone can keep up. I feel like we can't even keep up sometimes. Okay, well, Casa, episode 1. 5 years before the Battle of Yavin, Cassian Andor looks for his missing sister on the industrial planet of Morlana 1. Cassian is antagonized in a brothel by 2 Primor corporate security officers, leading to an altercation where he kills one accidentally, then murders the other. On his home planet of Ferrix, he attempts to hide his involvement by convincing his adopted mother, Marva, her droid Bee, and his friend Brasso to cover for him. In possession of an NS9 Starpath unit, a valuable piece of Imperial navigation technology, Cassian asks his friend Bix to connect him with a black market buyer, which she reluctantly agrees to. Meanwhile, Bix's boyfriend Tim is suspicious of Cassian. To improve his rapport with Imperial authorities, Morlana 1's chief inspector of security elects to cover up the 2 killings. However, his deputy, the dutiful Cyril Karn, is determined to solve the case. He identifies Cassian's ship, traces it to Ferrix, and learns that he is originally from the tribal planet Kenari. In a flashback, a younger Cassian, known as Casa, joins a group of Kenari investigating a crashed ship. Casa rebuffs his younger sister's effort to join in the search, leaving her behind in their encampment. In episode 2, that would be me, Tim, still suspicious of Bix's relationship with Cassian, reports Cassian to Primor Security, which has issued a warrant for his arrest. Cyril enlists Sergeant Linus Mosk, an equally zealous Primor officer, to help arrest Cassian. B, the droid, informs Cassian and Marva of the warrant, and Cassian prepares to flee the planet. Meanwhile, Luthen Rail, Bix's buyer, travels to Ferrix to obtain the Starpath unit. In a flashback, Casa's group locate the crashed ship near a massive abandoned industrial strip mining operation. When their leader is killed by a crew member of the downed ship, the tribe kills the attacker and flees from the crash site. Casa stays behind to explore the ship. And in episode 3, Reckoning, Luthen arrives on Ferrix and meets Cassian in an abandoned factory. Cyril and Mosk also appear with a dozen security men and confront Marva, who refuses to cooperate. Intercepting a transmission from Cassian to B, Cyril pinpoints Cassian's position. Cassian intends to sell the Starpath unit and leave Ferrix, but Luthen tries to recruit him into his rebel network, citing Cassian's repeated success at stealing from and sabotaging Imperial ships. When Cyril's security men raid the factory, Luthen's preparation and experience help the two men escape the factory, subduing Karn along the way. After learning of Tim's betrayal, Bix rushes to aid Cassian, only to be stopped by the Corpos. Tim is killed when he attempts to intervene. One of the landing pods in which the security team arrived is sabotaged by Brasso and destroyed. Luthen and Cassian eventually escape the planet, while Cyril and Mosk radio a request for evacuation. In a flashback, Marva and her husband Clem scavenge the crashed ship on Kenari and find Casa. Marva decides to keep him with them, fearing for his life if he is discovered there by the Republic.
So,
big stuff.
To start off the bat with the show opens in a brothel. And I heard the showrunner of the show, Tony Gilroy, who I know, like, he's done, like, a lot of, like, interviews and stuff, and I don't want to just, like, get on here and just, like, repeat things that, like, he told, like, Variety and Hollywood Reporter and stuff, but, because we have, like, a lot of our own thoughts we want to share. But I did recently come across something where Tony Gilroy said that he wrote this opening scene to kind of test the limits of, like, well, what's Disney actually going to let me do with Star Wars? So I was like, okay, opening scene, dude goes to a brothel and then kills two cops that are acting like assholes. And it's like, okay, then well, let me do that. So maybe I'll work on this show. But speaking of, like, the behind the camera talent, the director, Toby Haynes, directed these first 3 episodes and really set the tone for directing, I guess more like a season 1 thing than a season 2. But, you know, whoever directs the first episode of a TV show really is responsible for setting the tone for that show. Yeah. And he was a big Star Wars guy. He's a big Star Trek fan, too. He also did those Black Mirror Star Trek themed episodes. Oh, cool. Because, you know, like a UK guy. So, you know, Black Mirror, Andor. They produced Andor in the UK. It's also interesting, they were producing Obi-Wan in California at the same time they were producing Andor in England. And, like, Star Wars was made to be made in England. Like the original trilogy came out of England. Okay. But the prequels they shot in Australia. They seem a little, I don't know.
Down under.
Yeah, quality was down under. But the opening scene with Cassian in the bar, it really hits hard when, you know, he's not, like, trying to be a dick to those cops, but, like, they get mad at him pretty quick. Yeah. And then, like, he's trapped. Yeah. This show is so much of people just, like, they're going through their lives. They live their lives in the Star Wars universe within a fascist empire. And they get trapped in these situations. Yeah. And then it's like, well, how do they get out? Or how do they deal with this inevitable process that's going to begin now? And the show begins with, like, as soon as those cops start giving him a hard time, and he comes in there because, like, he's looking for his sister. He's on this mission to find his sister that we know is not going to work out. Like, later episodes, Marva reveals, like, there weren't any other survivors. Your sister's a lost cause. Yeah. I never had the heart to tell that to you. But yeah, like, the cops get mad that, I guess, like, the sex workers in this brothel, I guess it's like, we only serve the people we like, or, like, at least, like, they take priority over jerk-ass cops. Yeah. So, like, but, like, you know, Cassian didn't do that. Like, he just, like, walks in.
It wasn't his choice.
Yeah, he just happens to look cuter than the two asshole cops.
Well, he also made eye contact with her. The way she walked into the room, like, he was the first one she saw. Like, that was inevitable.
But just the point is, like, something he didn't do pissed off these cops. Yeah. And so now he's stuck in that situation. And, like, he's captured.
Well, and he's also, like, mean-mugging them because they're being dicks. And he's like, well, I can't say anything because if I do, I'm poking the bear. Right. And he's just there trying to, you know, he's just there waiting patiently for the info he requested on his sister. And, like, yeah, they just start being assholes to him, like, while he's just, like, but he's, like, kind of staring them down. And I don't think that's, like, you can stare at someone, like, whatever. But they take, like, that personally.
But like he reaches a point of no return where like nothing he can say or do in that brothel is going to stop these two cops from harassing him, because they think like, man, like this guy can't come in here and act like he owns the place. We have to display our authority, because that's what really gets us off, is we like
assert dominance.
Yeah, which is, you know, most people who work in law enforcement, I question their motivations, because a lot of them seem like they just really like to power trip and flash like the badge and the gun around. But like. So as soon as he's in that situation, we're like, okay, like these two guys, like they're gonna follow him down this alley, and then like at that point, like all he can do is like try to like fight them and escape.
Yeah.
You know, like he's probably not in a situation where he can afford the bribe.
Right. Well, he did try to.
Yeah, but like when they come to like get the money out of his pocket, that's when like he hits the guy in the head and tries to get out. But like, you know, in that scuffle, he ends up with one dead cop, and then he's like. But like at that point, he's captured again. He's like, okay, there's no way this is going to work out well for me. And the cop that's still alive, now he is put
in that position.
He's in an inescapable situation now, because he's like, man, like this guy just died. There's no way if there's no way I can convince this guy to go into the police station with me and just like, because like he knows like that'll destroy his life. You know, as like what, behind bars, maybe even like you know, life in prison or death penalty or like, you know, whatever. Like there's no way that he is going to be down with this, and there's nothing I can say or do to convince him to let me go to spare my life. Yeah. So it's just like immediately the show shows like the like, complexity. Yeah, there's two complex situations,
and like how your dynamics switch so quick is really interesting here. I really actually love the cop like literally on his knees like begging, like in a way, like he's like, these are the things I'm thinking about, like you want to go in and say he fell, like believe me, you know, he's like, he knows he's doomed, you know. So but yeah, actually I remember the first time that I saw this, like I was actually shocked that Cassian killed him too immediately. I was like, oh, we're gonna go there. Like, this is gonna be...
But this is the guy who also, like, he shoots a guy in cold blood in his first scene in Rogue One.
Yeah.
When the guy who like, can't flee the Imperials.
Yeah, oh yeah. I remember being shocked by it then, too. So
yeah, and I didn't like that. Made me not like, man, like, I want the good guys to be good in Star Wars. Yeah. But it's like, oh no, we're actually gonna do, like, complex politics.
Yeah, yeah. I really dig all of it. But yeah, so he gets back to Ferrix, and I love how rich this planet is. Yeah. Like, it is so environment, like, heavy, and, like, you mentioned it's a very blue-collar workplace environment. Yeah. Like, it's so cool, like, the way they have the gloves up on the wall. Like, everyone's wearing, like, these very, like, cool earth tones and, like,
it's like the
deep yellows.
It's like the factory town, but, like, they're so, like, proud, and they're so... But, like the work... of the day is so like ingrained in the culture. Like when they have, like instead of having an alarm clock, they ring that bell or that anvil thing. Yeah, it's like a dude ringing an anvil. So that's like very. It's like he's basically like a blacksmith comes and wakes everyone up. Like,
and it's very. I don't know if cultural is the right word, but very community driven, and like everyone knows everyone. And you know, I'm not even sure what they're mining or what their like actual like work, like their blue collar work is, but. You can tell, like, everyone, like, it might even be, like, multiple different things, but, like, it's just, like, so integrated into who they are and who their community is and, like, the things they value. Like, I don't want to jump ahead too far, but, like, even just, like, the way that their funeral ceremonies are, like, it all ties back into who they are as a people. And I think that we don't get to sit very long with, like, planet's customs.
No, like, speaking of Star Trek
stuff.
Yeah. Which, you know, I say, like, we normally talk about Star Trek. It's kind of weird because we spend more time talking about Star Wars now than Star Trek. That'll correct itself eventually. But it's kind of like in Deep Space Nine how you spend a whole show on Bajor and you get to see so much more of the Joran culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Than, like, if they were just, like, you know, like a typical Planet of the Week that we see one time and never again.
Yeah, I love that. You just sit and live in it. And it feels good. Like, the characters are so well-rounded. But yeah, we see that immediately, like, when Cassian gets back there. Like, it's like, what I love about the show is they do so much showing and not telling. Like, they do both, but I think showing is, like, the best thing that they do.
It's so visually stunning, but, like, But the show packs so much into like there's so many lines of dialogue that just we really need to have like a dedicated Star Wars Andor
breakdown.
Yeah, like
3 hours for one episode. Go. That's what we're tracking for.
But I love that you keep bringing up how like community focused Ferrix is, though. It's because that's also like the counter to fascism.
Right.
Is
your deep
community.
Roots. Yeah. And trusting your neighbors and like relying on each other.
And it's easy for authority to bully around and push and intimidate individuals. It's harder to do that to a collective people.
Yeah.
These first 3 episodes, they also, as you mentioned, introduced Cyril Karn, who will, we talk about how, like, sometimes Star Wars has, like, these classic stories that came up a lot in the Clone Wars. It's like Star Wars does Invasion of the Body Snatchers, or, Star Wars does the Seven Samurai. When we watched the Solo movie, I didn't bring it up, but that's also very much kind of like Treasure Island with Han and Tobias. They're kind of like Long John Silver. Kind of like this piratey mentor takes me under his wing and also betrays me, but he's also kind of a father figure.
Yeah.
But this is kind of Star Wars doing Les Mis with Javert as the cop, right?
Uh-huh.
And so that's basically the basis of Cyril Karn.
Yeah, I can see this.
Like, I'd be shocked if, like, Tony Gilroy never fessed up to that at some point. But, yeah, I think that's the inspiration of this character.
Oh, I like it.
But he's a great example of the Empire. See, this is another thing.
Oh, Cyril. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was with you, and then I like went a different direction, but I'm back. Cyril.
Yeah, he's Javert's the cop.
Yeah.
So, I really love Dune. There's a new Dune movie coming out this year. When Taylor first met me, she was like reading Dune books to have Dune to talk to me.
That was like one of our first dates. Was Dune 2.
It was.
And then I started reading the books together. Okay, we're tangenting.
But
get back to the episode.
One of the things, I was just having a conversation with someone about Dune and how, like, the main characters of Dune are, like, really, like, the institutions. And you get, like, characters that kind of, like, represent, like, Stilgar kind of represents Fremen culture in general. But you also, like, the Reverend Mothers and the Bene Gesserit, like, that institution is kind of and then, like, the guild, the Spacing Guild with the Navigators, like, that institution is kind of a character. And with Andor, I feel like it is so much about, like, the in-universe institutions. Like, the ISB is basically a character. It's like, it's space CIA, but it's a strong part of the show. Mm-hmm. And, like, I feel like in a lot of ways, like, Cyril kind of embodies the common Imperial. He's, like, the common everyman who, like, actually believes the propaganda. He's like, oh, he's just a patriotic boy. He just loves the Empire. Good for him. Wants to be a good soldier of the Empire and becomes a corporate cop.
Yeah.
And that's like another cool thing is that like the show is also showing you like the Empire like nationalizing everything and bringing it all under like direct government control. But like in the meantime, they have like these corporate contracts. It's like, well, we haven't put like stormtroopers on every city block in the galaxy just yet. So in the meantime, some of these podunk planets, we have like corporate security over there. That like they're not even on like the same planet. Like they have to like take like a ship to come to Ferrix to look for the guy who shot their cops. So it's just another fascinating thing to me. It would be like as we slide into more of an authoritarian state, if you started seeing like private security everywhere, and then they phase that out, and it's like, oh no, we're actually going to have like ICE government personnel everywhere. Like, even though they're only supposed to be dealing with immigration, but now like they're in the airports and at the voting places, and like what's next? It's like that authoritarian creep.
Yeah.
It's the frog in the boiling water that's being turned up. Like
that is Cyril. 100%.
Yeah. But he's like, well, what's wrong with that? Like, these people just shouldn't do anything wrong. If they're not criminals, they don't have anything to hide. Like,
yeah. Something I really like about Cyril's character, like, okay, I'm going to say this frequently in Andor because I really like all these characters, but I don't agree with what they're doing. So I'm just going to blanket that now. But what I think is very interesting about Cyril is that he has this, like, blinding sense of justice that he, like, I think dutiful is a good word for him, but, like, he has this, like, very black and white, told what to do. These are the rules. These are the laws.
He thinks he's Odo from Deep Space Nine.
100%.
He's like, I just care about justice.
Yeah. And I think that's really interesting to, like, from his perspective, like, he's right. And I love when we have characters like that, where they're like, I'm doing everything right. Like, I'm doing my job. Like, this is, like, he's not outside of that box. You know what I mean? But he, like, I don't even know. Like, I feel like this is such a deep character for, like, a side character. Like, I don't feel like he's... I mean, like, he does have big parts in the story, but I think it's just a really interesting story of, like you said, like, a normal Empire person. But I think even, like, above it being, like, a baseline Empire worker, like, he's, like, even more... like, regimented, because we see, like, people that he's working with be like, well, we can, like, slack that a little bit, or...
Like,
you know,
so Cyril, he's the deputy investigator. That's his job title, right? And then his boss is the chief investigator.
Right.
One of the many actors in the show is also from Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like the airy dude who like helped raise the kid. I haven't thought about Game of Thrones in a while. A little rusty on some of those days. But anyways. But he's the chief here, and he's like the chief who's like, you know what, like, yeah, being a cop isn't that hard. We just gotta, don't get too carried away, and we got a lot of authority. There's a lot we can get away with, and just, keep your head down low and don't make too much noise, and make sure that all the I's get dotted and the T's get crossed. But Cyril is like, no, like, we need to be out there vigilantly enforcing justice on the galaxy. The Empire deserves to have men like us out there protecting everyone.
Yeah. He also... Oh, man. My train of thought just, like, went way haywire. I'm sorry. I'm so excited to talk about this. I'm thinking about, like, 10 things at once, and I'm like, and then I forget them all. But, I was going to bring up that the chief inspector... Like, a big reason he wanted to cover all this up is he didn't want the Empire to come there.
Yeah.
Which is, we saw...
Because he knows they're, like...
He's like, they're going to come fuck up
take
my
our
shit.
jobs. Yeah. We're all going to get laid off.
Yeah, and also, like, I won't be able to, like, do all of these, like, shady things anymore because they're going to come in and tell me I can't do that. Lay me off. But we saw that recently in Star Wars... what did we watch previously where they were like, oh, no, we're not going to do that. Don't call it in. Oh, in Maul. In the Maul show.
Oh, yeah.
The police guy in that. Like, and I thought that was really interesting that we just watched that and it's coming out. I mean, it's not all out. We haven't seen it all yet because it's still coming out. But, like, that police guy was literally like, no, don't call the Empire. Like, please, God, like, I can't handle that.
So that makes me wonder, what's going to happen with that police department?
Yeah.
Is it going to be
like this?
Yeah, they're going to have a pre-more security situation. That's interesting. I hadn't connected those, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Also, the other thing that comes up in these first 3 episodes is Luthen is introduced. Mm-hmm. He's the buyer for the stolen Imperial merch that Cassian has, because now he's trying to get the hell away from home because like he just killed 2 cops.
Right.
He killed one on accident. He's forced to kill another one, but he was like on this desperate mission to find his sister that he doesn't know she's dead. It's a lost cause. So that like he fucks his life away for something that like was never going to turn out to be true anyways.
Right.
Because then like he's burnt so many connections on this planet. Like he knows so many people, and I love like you were saying how it's like such a community, and I love like that collectivism is what consistently wins the day in this show is collectivism. But you can tell like he's burnt his bridges like Pegla, the junkyard guy, he's like, you're not borrowing any more of our ships. Like, I can't let you fly off world on one of our junkyard ships that's supposed to be impounded here. Bix is really like she's about to be fed up with him, and they have like romantic history, and it's like she's trying to have like this new romance with Tim. But like Andor is really close to her because like they're business partners, and also like
they grew up together.
Yeah, and like she probably likes Tim because like he doesn't like get on her nerves as much as Andor, but like at the same time like Andor always has her attention, and like so Tim is like being pouty little jealous boy who calls the cops. That's such a common real life thing, like a jealous partner who calls the cops on their on someone's ex, and then like someone ends up shot or deported
Oh,
or what.
man.
But yeah, it's
But yeah, and he also like owes a bunch of people money too. Remember, he gets stopped on the street
right.
by that guy, and he's like, "Pay up!" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" Like, and walks away.
So, I mean, and this isn't even like his home planet. Like he was a refugee from the Canary.
Yeah.
So it's like, but like he ends up like losing his life on this planet too. You know, when he goes off with Luthen, it's like, yeah, like why wouldn't he? Like he's, I mean, especially like when the cops are like literally coming for him then.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like what other choice did he have? You know?
Yeah.
And then Luthen is such a cool character who he's like no, like that Imperial mapping device machine thing, whatever. Like, I get that that's really valuable, but you, the guy who go steal shit like that, you are so much more valuable to me. And we eventually learned that like the mission they're planning on Aldhani, like it would have been a total failure without Andor.
Right.
Like Luthen was like, man, like I've been trying to get this to work for months, and it's days away, and the plan I've been putting all my eggs in this basket and really needing to pull this off, and it's gonna collapse on itself and not work at all. But then I found like the perfect guy who will be able to come in there and pilot that ship, because that's like none of them were understood like how to pilot that type of thing out of there. And a
lot of them didn't know some of like we'll get to that when we get to Aldhani stuff, actually. Sorry to skip ahead. But yeah, they definitely needed him to like problem solve and like have knowledge of some of the Imperial shit. And like I really love Luthen. I love Stellan Skarsgård.
One of the Skarsgårds.
The dad. He is always going to be Mamma Mia to me, and I love him for that. But the acting from him is always superb, but in this, I don't know, like the confidence, the mystery, like he nails every single thing. And it's just like, he's such a likable character. He's terrible in his own ways, but damn, like he's so believable. Like I want to follow him sometimes. You just need that kind of, I don't know, I don't even want to say like he's like violent, but he's like the same as like
he'll get his hands dirty. Yeah.
You know what this character reminds me of actually? And if you haven't seen Project Hail Mary, cover your ears, or read the book, cover your ears. And I can't remember her name right now, but the woman who leads the entire Operation Project Hail Mary is fucking ruthless. And in the book is so much more ruthless. She basically says, all of y'all can go fuck yourselves. I'm saving the whole entire world. Y'all can arrest me afterward, kill me, whatever you need to do. But I'm doing this now. And that is the same energy that Luthen is bringing into this show. It's just awesome.
Yeah, no, he's an incredible character. Actually, like, here's a character that the first time I watched this show, I was so like black-pilled with like world politics, and I didn't want to like have to think about some of the issues that the show kind of stirred up and made me think about. And then like Luthen would make me feel like so guilty for being black-pilled. And like. And then it made me realize it's like, oh yeah, I guess like it's not an option for me either.
Are you saying that Andor revolutionized you?
No, but I'm just saying like, but I think that would be like a good radicalized, I think is the word you're looking for. But
I am
like,
looking for that word.
But yeah, I think it might be a good utility in, like getting people to have these conversations. But let's move on to the next arc, the Aldhani arc, season 1, episodes 4 through 6. Oh, one last thing I wanted to say though is I liked that the Corpo Cop gunships, those are like old clone gunships from the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
This is like in real life how we have this bloated military budget that just spends so much on weapons for the military, that like the military has so many weapons that they end up selling a lot of their stuff to our police departments to use on American civilians. And it's funny to see Star Wars recognize that and show it in the show.
It's very realistic. I also wanted to bring up that I really love how Luthen and Cassian fuck up 14 corpos.
Yeah.
Like, they do such a good job at spreading it
the
out.
The show builds up to it, too, for,
Yeah.
3 episodes.
Yeah.
There's nothing really big like that.
And you feel the pressure of, like, oh my god, there's 14 of them, and they're surrounded. And then Luthen's like, don't worry, I bombed the door, and I've got this other bomb in my pocket. We're going to detonate this fake speeder.
Yeah,
and,
we were supposed to move on to the next 3 episodes, but we're having so much fun talking about the first 3.
Well, I feel like it's important to bring up that it fucks Cyril's brain up, because he gets cornered by Cassian.
Yeah, no, like he thinks about this like every night when he's trying to go to bed. He's like terrified, thinking of this crazy criminal, this murderous cop killing criminal, had like a gun up to his head.
Yeah. What I love about this is like Cassian almost like he doesn't really see Cyril. Like he sees like the back of his head, maybe.
I mean,
and like we know, and this is something when I was watching the first time, I was like, Cassian's not gonna fucking remember this random dude that he almost shot, maybe, and we'll come up with more about it in season 2. But that like just like hyper fixation that Cyril gets from like this massive like hunt and then failure, and like he can't move on. He will never move on from that.
The other thing that reminded me to bring up, but I love how like there's a lot of Ireland in Andor. There's a lot of the Troubles. There's a lot of Northern Ireland. There's a lot of Belfast. The people of Ferrex like making noises in the streets. Mm-hmm. That was a thing in
the clanging and the whistling and the anvil.
When the RUC would be on patrols in Belfast, ladies would go like bang the trash can lids because they had like these city trash cans that were everywhere, and so you would hear someone like a couple blocks up the road doing it, and you would start doing it too, and it would terrify the fuck out of these RUC goons.
Yeah. Well, people are doing that today with ice in Minnesota with whistles.
With whistles.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's it's very much like the theme of the show is that repression is an unnatural state that requires a lot of effort, and freedom is a natural thing that will spring up inevitably. And
that's straight from Nemik's manifesto.
Yes, which we learn about in the 3-episode Aldhani arc, starting with episode 4, Aldhani.
Lock in, guys. I'm reading 3 summaries, and they were all very long.
Let's do it.
Episode 4, Aldhani. Luthen takes Cassian to the planet Aldhani, posting him to a robbery mission there. Cassian is reluctant, but eventually agrees to cooperate. Luthen asks him to use a pseudonym among the rebels, and Cassian chooses Clem. Having promised Cassian 200,000 credits as payment, Luthen gives him a kyber crystal as a down payment, requesting its return upon completion of the job. Vel, the rebel group's leader, introduces Cassian to the rest of the team, Skeen, Terramin, Nemik, and Cinta, as well as Imperial Lieutenant Gorn, but keeps Luthen's involvement a secret. They explain to Cassian that they plan on stealing the payroll of an Imperial sector from the Aldhani garrison in 3 days' time. They will be taking advantage of the Eye, a rare natural phenomenon in Aldhani's sky, to make a timed escape, given the slow speed of their getaway vehicle. Meanwhile, on Coruscant, Luthen, living a double life as an antiques dealer, meets with Senator Mon Mothma, and they discuss the challenges of keeping her opposition to the Empire hidden. Cyril returns to live with his mother, Edie, on Coruscant after being castigated and fired by Imperial Supervisor Blevin, with the Morlana system being placed under Imperial authority. Imperial Security Bureau, ISB, Lieutenant Dedra Miro seeks access and authority over the Ferrex incident regarding the recovered Starpath unit, but is opposed by Blevin and their superior Major Partagaz. Whew. The Axe Frigates, Episode 5. On Aldhani, Cassian hides his past from the others and is met with distrust, particularly from Skeen. Nemik attempts to enlighten Cassian on his ideals of the rebellion, while Tamarin trains Cassian and the others for the heist. Lieutenant Gorn molds his men to fit his purposes of assisting the robbery while growing more and more disgusted with the lack of respect shown toward the Donnies. While traveling to the garrison, Cassian reveals that he is a mercenary after Skeen discovers the kyber crystal, and Vel struggles to maintain cohesion amidst the tension. On Coruscant, Cyril tensely discusses new career prospects with Edie. Mon Mothma establishes a new charitable foundation while managing increasingly bitter relationships with her husband Perrin and daughter Leda. Supervisor Blevin seizes a hotel as the new ISB headquarters on Ferrex. Meanwhile, his rival Dedra and her assistant reach the conclusion that the rebels are conducting a series of coordinated heists on Imperial assets. Luthen anxiously awaits a transmission from Vel's group, with his assistant Clea preaching a calm head. And the final one in this arc, The Eye, Episode 6. Aided by Gorn, the rebels... that's weird to say. Aided by Gorn, like Lieutenant Gorn, not Gorn like the aliens from Star Trek. Aided by Gorn, the rebels infiltrate the garrison by posing as an escort squad for Gorn's superior, Commandant J-Hold Behaz. As the Donnies arrive and begin to celebrate the Eye, the group take Behaz's family hostage, kill a colonel, and force Behaz to give them access to the payroll vault. While loading the credits into the freighter, the group are discovered by Imperial forces. Gorn and Tamron are killed in the ensuing firefight, and Cinta escapes on foot disguised as an officer, while Cassian, Nemik, Skeen, and Vel escape aboard the freighter. Nemik is crushed by an unsecured load of credits on takeoff, but is able to navigate Cassian through the Eye to safety. Landing on a remote planet to tend to Nemik's severe and ultimately fatal injuries, Skeen secretly proposes to Cassian that they betray Vel and split the payroll between themselves. Cassian kills Skeen, reports the conversation to Vel, and informs her of his intention to take the sum he was promised as payment, leaving her the rest, including Luthen's crystal. Vel gives Cassian Nemik's manifesto in accordance with his dying wish. Back on Coruscant, the ISB agents are gathered to formulate reprisals to the heist, while Luthen quietly celebrates. Big arc.
Yeah, so the Aldani arc. This is another... I remember when it first came out and I was watching it, I was like, oh, why does it take 3 episodes to do this heist? And then when they finally pull it off in the Eye, I was just like... It was so visually stunning that I was like, Jesus Christ, that was worth the wait.
Yeah, I do think this is the slowest Andor feels, but it is super important because we need Cassian to learn from these people. Because he's there as hire, and they're all there on their own free will.
Cassian is a guy, he doesn't like the Empire. He hates the Empire. They killed his dad. Mm-hmm. It's kind of weird what was going on even before that with his original family on Kasari. Because it was Kanari. It was an Imperial mining operation. I mean, back then it would have been Republic, but someone calls it there was an Imperial mining accident. So they're just they just call Republic stuff Imperial stuff at this point, which is kind of cool. But the ship that was crashed there, it had a Separatist logo on everything. But StarWars.com said that's not Separatist. This was pre-Separatist, pre-Clone Wars. Someone else using that logo. Okay. It was a Republic frigate though. But yeah, I mean, that's weird. But basically, that doesn't really matter. Just bringing it up, that's kind of weird. But Andor, he hates the Empire, but he doesn't think that is he doesn't have kind of a what's the word I'm looking for? He doesn't have the political theory. He doesn't have he's not a revolutionary. He's not. Yeah, he's just
have, the words and phrases.
Yeah, he's I'm a criminal. I'm here to get by and protect the people I care about. And if I can hurt them in the process, good. But I know I just accept them as an inevitability. There's just gonna be this evil empire ruling over me. And yeah, he meets this young kid, Nemik, who's what do you know, Nemik? You're gonna you're 12. You're gonna tell me all this political theory, but Nemik brings up no, actually that is unnatural.
Yeah. I love Nemik. He's so easy to like, and I enjoy that they have this sweet kid he's I like retro tech. And
that's so cool. His little navigational tool. Yeah. But I mean just the amount of thought and detail they'll put into everything in this show. But
and that he's the one that crafted all of their maquettes of everything, and he's oh, don't touch it, I have the glue, I'll move it if you want me to move it. He's so protective of his mock models of the garrison, it just makes him so innocent and likable,
And I love how he romanticizes his manifesto, and he's it's this navigational tool, it shows us the way. It's something they can't take from us. And he says yeah, we're too reliant on Imperial tools and technology, and it might even be he's talking about the Force. He's saying people are disconnected from life and to each other and the Force. But
I'm sorry.
But it's also like it's a very like real, tangible thing, like in real life. Like I talk about like all the time how like they want us to be like dependent on, like how they control people's money through the banks, or like they want to track our movements with our phones and.
Well, I think this also, it ages so well because with the introduction of, like, AI being, like, really big now, like, when he's talking about, like, well, we can't do it like that because then we forget how to do things ourselves, you know? It's like, kind of the same thing. Yeah. If you're, like, always using AI to write your emails, like, I mean... You're going to forget how to write emails. Or you're going to be rusty, you know? And it's not going to be as good, like, when you're on the fly.
Then, like, how are you going to, like, write a eulogy for your best friend's funeral or something?
And if you're, like, using AI to, like, create an image or something...
People probably write eulogies with AI, though.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah.
When you're writing my eulogy, if you have to, don't do that.
No, I'm going to... you're going to outlive me.
Okay.
I'm not pulling a Highlander. I'm not pulling a Connor McLeod in Heather. That movie traumatized me.
Sorry. But anyway, I think it's very cool to see Nemec preaching, even just like how technology itself
it's exciting. Okay,
can be repressive.
I've been this guy.
Oppressive.
I've been this guy who's trying to like get someone else on my side.
It's a little bit like conspiracy theory, a little bit, but it's real.
But like, yeah, like
it's tangible.
You want and you want it to like click, and you want this person. You want this person to come to the viewpoint that you're at, and yeah, sometimes you kind of have to like handhold, and it can be frustrating, and maybe it's not always going to work. But I love his enthusiasm. It's like a thing that you're more enthused to do when you're younger, and his like enthusiasm for that. But also like the conversation with Nemec and Andor about when they're nervous the day before, and he's like, man, like I have such strong convictions. Like, I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, why am I so nervous? And,
because you're a baby.
But Andor's like, man, when you get into the shit, though, like, you're going to have your head in the game. You're going to know what to do.
That adrenaline will hit.
When they pulled off the heist and that guy has his arms around Andor's throat, and, like, it was a hard fucking shot to make. But Nemec, he takes it and he makes it.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, like, when the shit was popping off, like, he got
Nemec with it, yeah. Yeah. All of these characters are so rich. We don't get them all for very long.
Skeen, the whole episode, like, he kind of seems like he's being protective, trying to size up Cassian, seeing, like, he can be trusted or not. But, like, Cassian kind of seems like he doesn't trust Skeen.
Yeah.
Like, I never noticed this before. This is, like, my third time watching the show, I think. But, when Skeen's telling his backstory, he's the guy who told like the bogus backstory about like
brother's farm.
The Empire killed my brother and like destroyed our farm but like when Cassian asked him, what did you grow on your farm? And he's like
pepper trees.
He doesn't believe Skeen. Like he thinks there's something, or maybe like he recognized some of his prison tattoos and was like, man, this guy's a pretty nasty character. Yeah. But he doesn't trust him. But yeah, Skeen like responded with like, pepper trees, centuries of them. Yeah. And like it sounds like so sad, like centuries of trees.
Yeah.
But
I believe you. So wait.
He said he doesn't have a brother.
Oh, okay. I thought he was saying that like he doesn't care anymore that his brother is gone.
No, I think he just like made it all up.
Oh wow. Okay.
But see, he's a representation of what Cassian would be if he cared only about himself.
Yeah.
But Cassian actually does care about other people. But he's like, yeah, I'm a rebel, but it's me against everyone else.
Yeah.
Like I'm not realistically out here trying to take down the Empire. Yeah. I was just here to steal. I also love that they were stealing payroll because it's like that for an entire Imperial sector. That would be like, oh, are these government employees? Or are they going to be late getting paid? Like that is extremely disruptive to a government, you know?
Yeah. And also helpful for the rebellion.
And then the reaction, the Imperial reaction. It's interesting, like, Luthen's an accelerationist. Like, he reveals the Mon Mothma, and we should talk about her at some point. We get her introduction to the show in these episodes. But, like, he's telling her, like, yeah, this is going to make them retaliate against everyone, and it's going to get more people on our side. Yeah. Which is also kind of fucked up. But, like, I feel that way all the time. Like, I don't want things to get worse for anyone, but I feel like the worse shit gets in our country, the more people sound like me, and more people are like, we need like a fucking revolution.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you have to, like, there's a breaking point, and they're not quite there yet. They're very close, and same in real life. And, like, I love seeing this with today's world. It's really depressing.
This is the Star Wars made for today, though.
It's almost like a little hopeful now. Like, it's fucking sad and brutal, but it does like cast a little bit of hope.
Well, and you know, I lend Star Wars and just the world in general from a leftist perspective, because that's who I am. But it's kind of a traditional thing for a lot of revolutionaries, is that like you know, like you have to go through the bad times to get to a better tomorrow. And the best thing that the show does is it shows how it's not just like one hotshot kid flying an X-Wing blowing up a Death Star that wins the day. It's like this huge fucking effort from all these different people. This is part of like what Nemec talks about. It's like people don't even realize like they're in this army, but all these little acts of insurgents, like it all adds up. And yeah, like that's what like brings down empires. That's what creates revolutions.
Yeah, I don't remember which episode it was in, but it was part of the manifesto where he's talking about like, and even just like a little bit, like doing what you can, and like that made me think of like doing financial boycotts for like Target or like Starbucks or whatever it is, like doing what you can even inches that rebellion frontline forward. And I thought that was an interesting thing that was included in his manifesto. I want to read it, I think, like, all at once, because we get it, like, a little bit throughout the show, and I think...
Go read it on...
Yeah, I think I need to do that.
It's on the Wikipedia page.
I will get to it.
I read it out loud in the house earlier, but I don't know if you were within earshot.
I was not.
There's no weird things we do in our house.
I wondered what you were mumbling about in here. I was like, he's saying some weird shit, but that's not abnormal.
He's just reading Star Wars speeches out loud to himself and to the animals.
I kind of want to talk about the Eye a little bit and the Donnie people before we go to Mon Mothma.
Okay.
And kind of like
I have a lot of thoughts on this stuff.
Oh, man. First of all, the Eye, what a cool ass, like, heist time.
Yeah.
Like, how cool to be like, okay, we're going to get to this garrison that's kind of understaffed, and they're all going to be fucking distracted by this cool-ass space event.
And it's such a real imperial thing. Like, people who, like, go and join the Navy, and then they're at, like, some, like,
foreign
island.
place.
Like, some, like, island in, like, Southeast Asia, or the Middle East, or somewhere, or the Mediterranean, or South America, and they're just like, you know, there's, like, nothing to do here, but every 3 years is, like, really cool event that you can only see here, and nowhere else in the world, and, like, you know, it would suck if you made us all work and not go look at it.
Yeah, really genius. And also, I love that they explain how it is a cultural importance to the Donnie people.
Yeah.
And that it was always kind of like a mecca, like to this valley.
This long-time imperial project to undermine it.
Yeah.
Which is a real historical thing.
And I loved that they discussed that the Lieutenant Gorn had been there for like 7 years. Like, his backstory was super light. Like, we get it super vague, but it's enough. Yeah. Like, they're like, he's been here for 7 years. He had a local wife, a Donnie wife, and she died. We don't know if she died, how she died, when she died, whatever, but he's fucking bitter, and he switched sides because of this. Like, he hates how they treat the Donnie people, and he's a widower of a Donnie person. So I like that he's like, well, I've been here 7 years, so this is my third eye, or whatever, or second, or whatever it is. But
he's seen it twice. He's been there 7 years, and he's already seen it twice.
Right. And I think it's just, like, I just really appreciate Gorn here, because, you know, we have the Empire coming in, and they're on purpose making this event more difficult to access. This sounds so relatable too in so many societies today. Mm-hmm. Harder to access. They're strategically placing like bars and inns along the Mecca to the Eye Valley.
Yeah, there's like taverns. It's like the Coors Light twins like hanging out outside. You want like a nice cold beer?
You don't want to walk 500 more miles. So they're like slowly weeding these people out. They're making it harder and harder and harder. But like what the people don't know is this is also their last opportunity before they completely shut down that valley.
Right.
Which is what there's this like long-term goal of like trying to get them to have less people opposing them by having less people be able to physically get there during the last one that is open. So it's just like it again is just like this trickle down like strategizing of Palpatine. Like, it's these, like, long-term, like, plans.
Well, that's how settler colonialism. It's a long game type of operation. Because I mean, like some of the examples that I think really come to mind that are particularly relevant in this episode, but it's very Israel-Palestine, and but also a lot of like Britain and Ireland. And in both cases, like, religion came up. And trying to build like complications around practicing that religion. We're going to make it harder for Muslims to access parts of Jerusalem. We're going to make it harder for Catholics in Ireland. And that's a big part of the settler colonialism. Colonialism.
Hard word.
It is. It's hard to talk sometimes.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
A big part of that, though, is like you just get people to convert and just make it like it's easier to live in that society where it's like a typical imperial instead of like a traditional Aldani. And like they talk about how like the younger people won't be as hard to deal with as just gonna wait for like the old ones. And they're like, yeah, like we'll get everyone like re-educated. It's very much like First Nations people in Canada. America was also genocidal towards Native American people, but that idea of a kind of like indoctrination or assimilation, I guess it'd be assimilation in that case. So they're talking about like they're like they're going to assimilate the Aldanis, but it's like it's a long-term strategy to dismantle a culture and replace it and build the empire on top of it.
Yeah, and I love that Lieutenant Gorn is angry, like, and he's so good at hiding it, but we can see it as an audience. The
racist commandant who keeps talking about the stinky Donnies.
They smell.
They're so stupid. They can't comprehend concepts that we can.
You have to give them a pelt once every 3 years.
Unfortunately, when you look like the type of white guy that I look like in the part of the world that I live in, like sometimes racist white people will come up to me and just start saying like really racist things because like they think that I'm gonna like agree with them, and like it's very triggering to see Gorn in that scene.
And for him, he has to stay undercover, so he has to kind of like play things off. Like he doesn't get that opportunity. Like he's good at rerouting the conversation, and like kind of forcing people to feel a little bit like I liked how you used the word dog walked like into he dog walks those guys into like asking for a skeleton crew. So and I love the way that he interacts with the Donnie leader, like when he's translating and stuff. I love that he knows the language. That dude, the elder who he was saying some hardcore shit. He was saying like, tell this imperial son of a bitch. He was saying things like our ghosts will have long memories and strong hands. And he's just saying, like, he wishes you well in the fur trade. Where they have to, like, swap the furs. He's like, I'm not translating that literally, but I get you. But appreciation for Lieutenant Gorn. Short-lived, but memorable in this heist. Do you want to add anything else to the robbery or to the garrison? I mean, the TIE fighter. So scary when you see like the TIE fighter chasing them, or not chase. I guess like it's like a TIE fighter on patrol, but it tries to scare them by like swooping so down low. It's just like a cop trying to like scare people, or some asshole soldiers in a helicopter trying to like fly down close to a local and startle them. But it's like that classic TIE fighter design from 1977 that we all grew up with. And just making the TIE fighter, like, so scary. Like, when you see, like, those pilots, like, racing to get in the cockpits. And then it is so satisfying to see... Because those things are, like, so scary. And when you watch, you're so frightened for the characters making their escape from the TIE fighters. And then the eye and the meteors coming through the atmosphere. It looks, like, so beautiful. And then seeing, like, the eye destroy those TIE fighters. It was, like, nature, like, fight. It's like, no, like, you can't impose this cold, heartless empire... Like, nature is going to fight back. It's like the Empire thought, like, we can control the eye of Aldani. And it's like, no, like, the eye of Aldani will shred your TIE fighters.
But let's talk about what were we
I was
saying?
gonna say, you want to talk about Mon Mothma?
Let's talk about Mon
Okay.
Mothma in the house. Mon Mothma introduced. And also Dedra comes into these too,
yes.
so we got to talk about her too.
I know.
But Mon
And
first.
Cyril.
Yeah.
We have a lot of updates on these guys,
Okay.
but they're smaller. But basically, it sounds like, okay, Mon Mothma's in a financial pickle because she's been aiding the revolution.
Yeah, she was giving them 100,000 credits a month for months.
Yeah.
Like, no shit, you're like running out of money.
Yeah, well, she's not running out of money.
Right.
She's
so rich, she's not running out of money, but it's starting to like draw attention.
Right. Well, no, they imposed a new bill or something
it's like
in the Senate.
The bank called her and said, hey, the Empire is going to be taking a closer look at all of our customers' accounts, so just make sure you have all your affairs in order.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, they're like, we know what you're doing, kind of, but we're not going to say shit. I like that. Admirable. But yeah, so she starts to panic. I don't even know where to start with her. Like, I love so much about the way they create her character here. I love the tension between her and her husband and her daughter and her husband. Like, it's very complex.
Yeah, the way, like, the daughter and the husband will kind of team up against her.
Oh, I fucking hate it. I mean, I love it. Like, I eat it up, but
how can this show have such good politics and do such like great examinations of concepts, or like, like, let's talk about like institutions as much as people, but then at the same time it can do this amazing character drama.
Yeah, and it's so simple too. Like, we don't really have a whole lot of screen time with Mon Mothma, like maybe 15 minutes max, I think, in maybe this arc, and it's so believable and realistic, like her spats with Perrin, her husband. The dinner table scene when she comes home, she's like had this really difficult conversation with Luthen. She's stressed the fuck out about her financial situation, that she can't cover it up. And she comes home and she finds that Perrin is fucking throwing a party with all these assholes from the Senate that she fucking hates to work with, and they all hate her. And she's like, are you serious?
What do you mean she finds that? He put it on the calendar?
He put it on the calendar, guys. We do that to each other, though, too. So I can't joke around to that. I'll be like, what do you mean you didn't know it was on our calendar?
What I noticed is that the Vizier, who's the Blue Devil man, Maz Amida, is on the guest list. And,
no, it was the...
And Sly Moore, too.
Oh, she was,
both.
too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sly Moore.
Literally the right and left hands of Palpatine.
Yeah, his Umbaran, his bald-headed baddie.
Yeah.
His Laura Loomer.
Yeah, so, I mean...
Yeah, it's like Palpatine's like they're in like the inner circle. Like they know shit. Like they know they probably know all about the Death Star.
They've probably seen the lightning hands.
Yeah, like they've seen the lightning hands at some point. So
they may have used it on him.
And that's who Perrin is hanging out with.
Yeah, crazy. But Perrin comes off as like this party guy.
Why does everything have to be so sad and boring with you?
Yeah.
So people tell me that shit all the time.
Yeah.
People will be like, "How you doing, Father?" You'd be like, "I mean, like, I don't know. I'm depressed about we're waging an illegal, immoral war in Iran," and the people are like, why do you have to be so like sad and
Debbie
boring?
Downer. Yeah, or negative Nancy. But yeah, I love that complexity though of her life. Like, I guess I mean I know who Mon Mothma is, and I've seen her like in Rebels. And
I never gave a shit about her until the show.
I didn't either. I was like, yeah, okay, that lady. Like, okay, I don't really care about her, and now I'm like, oh yeah, she has a shitty husband and a shitty daughter, and like, it's just like crazy because like also like I can just imagine so easily too, like the world being any way else. Like, pretend like the Empire died and whatever, and the Jedi won somehow. Like, she probably wouldn't be having these tensions with her husband and daughter.
Right.
Like, it's like it's crazy. Like,
she would be able to be like, she would probably
be a mom,
be able to be a better mom.
Yeah, and because right now, like, her priorities are definitely the Senate.
Like, I talk about this a lot because it was really moving when I read about this. But a mother who was involved in a South African struggle against apartheid, or no, it was actually from her daughter's perspective, I believe. But she was writing about how, like, yeah, like, my mom was, like, never there for me. And I was, like, so mad and so resentful. But, like, I get like, it's like people they have limited capacities. And they can only do so much. And it's like, it's nice to tell ourselves, like, man, like, I can just, like, love these things so much that I'll find a way to do it no matter what. But, like, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, like, you only have so much time and effort to devote. devote to revolution and so much like devote to the people you're responsible to at home and like be part of your kid's life.
Yeah.
And yeah, in these situations, in like these revolutions that the show wants to talk about, like people have to make like these horrible choices that are so like ungodly, unfair that anyone would ever be asked to do these things. And it's a fascinating thing to examine on like large scale society, and it's a fascinating thing to examine like up close when you're trying to get like some family drama out of it and a compelling story.
Yeah, but yeah, and I also like. I'm gonna bring it way down to the shallow side, but Mon Mothma's outfits in these episodes are insane. Like, she has the most, I mean, like, intricate...
What is it from Mon Mothma in Return of the Jedi? She's wearing just like a plain white... It's like what Leia wears, kind of.
And I mean, to be fair, at that point, she's been in the rebellion. She doesn't have the money and, like, the accessibility of Coruscant.
She's not this, like, posh gal from a rich planet anymore.
And, but I want to just compliment the wardrobe department on amazing textures, use of line in wardrobe. Like, she's got these really cool capes and these, like, she's literally a pillar of the rebel
like she has
alliance.
like those like long earrings that
they're like drop earrings, but they're super long, they like elongate her, but I just love that emphasis. And even like her environment, like her home is very sterile, and like you kind of get that from her, but that's like the minimalism of her, like this, like you can, like, she doesn't have time for anything else. Like, Perrin is throwing all these parties. Like, he's kind of the man of the house, like, and, like, he's taking care of that. So, like, you don't really get a lot of, I'm really into the set design stuff because it shows, like, she doesn't have a lot of control over her home. And, like, what she does have control over is, like, the thing she's interested in. Like, she's given up everything. You know, she's given up, like, working things out with her husband, having the relationship with her daughter. Like, the only things she can really control are, like, what she wears and what she says.
Over the course of the show, you kind of see her give up on both those relationships.
Yeah. It's fucking sad. Yeah. I mean, understandable, but sad.
Yeah.
Anyways, and amazing acting. Like, I love, too, that, like, her facial acting is so minimal as well. Like, she can just have, like, a little quiver, or, like, her cheek will, like, shake just a little bit when you can see that she's nervous. Like, she's trying so hard to stay strong, and, like, she breaks just, like, a teeny tiny bit. And, like, just the acting is phenomenal. And I love how direct and, like, critical she is. Like, she doesn't take any shit, and I fucking love that for her. Which brings me to my next favorite female character in the show, Dedra, who also takes no shit.
Both played by Irish women.
I fucking love Dedra, okay? She's a horrible, horrible person. But I fucking love her.
Yeah.
I love how she's written. I like that blinding, like, full force forward, like, mentality. Like, she's blazing in. Like, she's not taking any shit from her stupid fucking coworkers who think that they're hot shit men who can, like, overpower her and shit. And she's like, actually, and, like, is always fucking prepared.
The rivalry between her, is it Blevin? Is the other supervisor?
Yeah.
But, okay, they're basically, like, these are, like, CIA people.
Mm-hmm.
These are, like, people who, like, work in the Pentagon and spy on people around the world all day. And they think, like, we're keeping the world in order and safe from the worst, nastiest people out there. And yeah, it's fascinating to humanize these fictional characters that represent some of these real world evil institutions. But like when she is staying up late with her, is Hurt the name of her little work buddy?
Her work buddy.
Yeah, and they're just like, oh come on, just two more files each, and it's just like, look at these besties getting work done. Maybe they'll go have margaritas later. You know, it's just like, but it's like, she's
a martini girl.
But they're doing terrible fucking shit. But like, it's like people who like work at Palantir, or they like go out to the bar after work and like comfort each other and like talk about friend stuff to each other. And it's just funny to see that level of humanization. You know, when you go back and watch Star Wars in the original trilogy, like you don't see like dudes on the Death Star talking about like, oh, how are you and your wife getting along these days? And, like it's just it's neat to have a TV show where you can sit in that stuff long enough to experience it.
Yeah.
But also the Imperials, that they go to Ferrix and they set up their base there in the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And that Imperial officer, I think he's also a Game of Thrones actor, but he's like, oh, can I be prefect? Like, I know it won't come with any extra pay, but I just really want to be called a prefect. I just really want that on my resume.
Yeah.
That I was a prefect. And it's such like real world bullshit though, because you have like those political people that like they want like the title, and they want like the spotlight and the attention, and you know, it's a reason why Pete Hegseth, who calls himself the Secretary of War, like he has like a makeup room at the Pentagon where you can like always like look good for the camera and stuff. Like right next to his liquor cabinet, because he's an alcoholic who's always drunk when he's not busy raping his wife. But anyways, there's that prefect, and is it Blevin who's like there on Ferrix talking to him, and he's like, I don't care what you are. You could wear a bloody ball gown for all I give a shit. It was just funny to see like you have like this military officer who wants to make like a name and reputation for himself. But you also have like this like the CIA guy who's like he's just there to like get the job done. He's like, man, like I deal with like some dark, complex shit on a day-to-day basis. I don't have time for your fucking like power fantasy. You want to feel like this is this big, strong, important guy. You know, he's like, I don't have time for that shit. So I like seeing like that clash of personalities. It just feels so real.
Yeah. Another thing I picked up in these episodes, and I thought it was a good drop, and it was just one line, but one of the background characters on Ferrix after this episode had said like, oh, well, since the hotel has been taken over, we've had a massive decrease of tourism, so I haven't been as busy. Like in the restaurant and it was in the garage, the shop where Bix worked. And I thought that was a cool thing. It was just like a really casual like comment.
The shop that has part of the Rebel logo. And that's just kind of like part of the Rebel logo on Onderon in the Clone Wars when Saul Guerrera and his people were introduced. And then, you know, we know like Sabine adds like the Phoenix, but we saw like the Phoenix head on Sabine Wren's mom in the Clone Wars. So it's funny, like we've seen like all the different ingredients of like the Rebel Alliance logo. We just haven't seen them assembled yet. Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
The only other thing I don't think we've touched on yet is Cyril. He's now at a new job.
Moves back in with his mom.
Dude, his mom! Oh, she's absolutely the worst. I don't like her. Like how I like... Well, I know, but like how I like Dedra. Like, I like her. Like, I want to see her on screen. Every time the mom's on screen, I'm like, fuck. I hate this. I hate it. I don't want to hear her talk. I don't, you know? And, like, I know that's intentional. Like, we're not supposed to like her. But, oh, man. She just nails on the chalkboard the whole time. Great acting, because she's fucking nailing that role of being naggy, terrible mom. And, like, just so narcissistic. I think that's what it is. I think it's the narcissism that is so triggering for me. I'm like, I can't stand
There's so much to talk about. Like we could do, like, a whole, like, conversation just about, like, Cyril's relationship with his mom. But
we need a therapist to join in on that one.
But, like, Cyril in his life with his mom, like, it's kind of, like, miserable as it is. And, like, she seems like such, like, a shittier mom than Marva. But, like, he's still, like, so much more privileged coming up in that life. And, like, even though he did, like, this, like, dumb thing where he, like, tried to go, like, arrest this guy, even though, like, his boss told him not to do it. But, like, he kind of just, like, fells upward. It's like, well, his mom had connections through his uncle and was able to, like, get him a job at the ISB. And it's funny to see that paralleled with Cassian, who's this guy who, like, you know, he has, like, a checkered past. He's been in prison and stuff. He's been in, like, combat situations. But when he's fighting in Mimbin in the mud, like we saw on the Solo planet, there was rebellions on Mimbin then. It's also interesting to me that, like, when he says, like, we realized we were fighting ourselves, because that's another thing empires do. There's, like, the saying in India that, like, if you see, like, two neighbors fighting, you can bet one of them recently was visited by an Englishman. And, you know, was, like, encouraged to go fight. But, like, we saw that a lot in India. Like, and people go in, like, the sectarian division lines and pit people against each other. And, there's a reason why, like, Pakistan and India are, like, at high risk of, like, nuclear war with each other. But Cassian has this checkered past, but also like we see him like consistently punished even more because he's not that privileged guy.
Right.
And it feels very real world when like they're putting out like police reports that they're looking for like this guy with like dark features and stuff like that. You know, it kind
He's
of
Canarian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like you typically don't see that kind of I don't know, acknowledgement of ethnicity in Star Wars. It's normally like, oh, well, here's our friend Jar Jar the Gungan, and then everyone else is human.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting to see like the show explore that as well. But yeah, Cyril, he doesn't see that as being like this privileged guy though. You know, like, people don't recognize their privilege.
Right.
And he looks so, like, as much as like Cassian is like involved in like community and stuff, Cyril is isolated in like this little cubicle.
And that is so accurate.
That's
for
where
today too.
the Empire wants you like that. The Empire wants you working in the ISB.
Yeah.
And not like the community on Ferrix that can't be controlled.
Yeah. Like this is okay. Like I saw something recently, like breaking down like the male loneliness epidemic is like tied to like the I don't know enough about this because I'm not really like a big gym rat anymore, but like gym bro behavior is tied into isolation. And like influencing is also tied into isolation.
Oh yeah, like the look maxers now.
Yeah,
you heard about that?
Yeah. And they'll like what was the first? Oh, and it's I don't know, just like that victim mentality that they're like brooding and like it's you against everyone else kind of thing. So like Cyril definitely has a lot of that. I see like where he, like you said, like he's isolated, he's working in the ISB, like he's angry, like he's bitter, but he's fine. Like he has a job, he has a place to live, and like, but he can't let go because he's obsessed with Cassian and his embarrassment, you know?
Well,
one thing I do want to back up because I like how you explained the fighting ourselves stuff, because originally when I heard that, I couldn't stop thinking about the Jedi Krell making the clones fight themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And so I literally took that as like physically fighting themselves and not necessarily like bickering and angry with each other, creating like civil tension. So I'm glad that you brought that up, because I was imagining like.
But empires love to sow civil war and unrest. Like
you have them fight each other. You don't have to fight.
We've been doing that in Iran, like because our President Trump is such an idiot. It's like having like if someone dumber than Jar Jar was as powerful as Palpatine, kind of frightening. But basically, our pathetic rapist, pedophile, war criminal, piece of shit, garbage. You should feel bad if you voted for him. President Donald Trump was he bragged about how like, oh yeah, we gave a lot of weapons to Iranian protesters through the Kurds, and so we had like a lot of Iranians shooting at each other before we started bombing them. Or we were just talking not that long ago about the Irish Civil War that happened after the proclamation that granted them to be the Irish Free State, and then like it was a lot of like British influence that manufactured that conflict in Ireland.
Right. That's related to the Michael thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I'm ready to go on to the next group. So how do we want to do? 7 through 10 or 7 through? Okay, we have more on the Aldani trilogy.
I want to gush about Luthen's workplace just for a second. I'm obsessed with it. I love all the artifacts and like all the cameo. I guess not Gorn eggs in Star Wars, but
they can be Trandoshan eggs.
And like there's just cool shit like all over his, and I love like just the layout and Clea having the secret radio in the back and like.
But they're all like these artifacts from other planets. It's like the Empire has conquered all these other planets. It's like here's like the London Museum with all these artifacts from or the British Museum, whatever it is.
Stolen shit.
It's like it's
they're gonna sell. Yeah.
It's just like kind of you're at the heart of the Empire.
And I loved the character transformation of Luthen, like Luthen the instigator, like rebellion leader, to Luthen like the artifact like salesman.
He kind of has an acting process when he puts the wig on.
Yes, and then he like strikes a pose and has this cool ass outfit.
It looks like you're
colorful.
If you've ever seen like an actor try to like get into character, like it looks like that.
Man, it's so good. Like amazing wardrobe, amazing acting. Obsessed with the character switch, and I love in all of the scenes in that like shop, the double like talk, like they're always talking about like the artifact, but they're talking about something else.
Meanings.
There's like double meanings. They're doing a really good job talking in code, and I'm always really impressed by every scene that is in the shop. I think it's fucking cool.
Yeah, like when they're explaining the marriage tradition or custom or whatever to they mention it, and then like Mon Mothma turns to her driver Chloris or whatever his name is, and she's like, oh, that's like one of our customs, that's a Chandalan custom. But that's also like her letting whatever her planet is, sorry. But it's her letting like Luthen know, like, I'm not very tight with this guy, so don't blab in front of him.
Right.
He's not part of the inner circle.
Yeah. It's so well written, y'all.
And it makes it such a rewatchable show. Because like not only is like the editing so great and the visuals so great and the music's so great, but then like you pick up on more and more things as you watch. I'm so excited to watch Andor season 1 for the 4th time in about a year when we're going to go through it again.
Yeah. So I think the next set works better as 4, not as 3. What do you think?
Yeah, so this is all the prison stuff, and then we'll do the final 2 together.
This is my favorite part of Andor season 1.
Okay, so...
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, starting with episode 7.
We're doing... I can't read it when it's that high up. My eyesight's not as good as yours.
Sorry.
Announcement, episode 7. On Coruscant, Cyril starts a new job at the Bureau of Standards. Colonel Wolf Yularen announces that the ISB has gained more surveillance and punitive authority, while Dedra is challenged by Blevin for breaking protocol by accessing Imperial data without authorization. She persuades their superiors of the value of her work and is granted oversight of Ferrix. Luthen's assistant, Clea, instructs Vel to find and kill Cassian to protect Luthen's identity. Mon Mothma meets with Tay Kolma, an old friend and banker, and asks him to help her access family funds. Cassian returns to Ferrix to settle an old debt and learns that people blame him for the Imperial security crackdown there. The presence of stormtroopers on Ferrix reminds him of the murder of his adopted father, Clem, by Imperial clone troopers at a protest on Rick's Road. Cassian tries to persuade Marva to leave Ferrix with him, but she decides to stay and resist the increased Imperial presence. Cassian travels to the tourist paradise of Niamos, adopting the name Keef Gurgo. Sometime later, as he walks along the beachfront to a store, he is unjustly arrested by a shore trooper for supposedly fleeing the scene of a rebel activity, and is sentenced to 6 years of imprisonment. Dun dun dun. Narkina 5, Episode 8. Cassian is brought to the Narkina 5 Island prison, a hard labor camp with thousands of prisoners manufacturing Imperial machinery. His floor manager, Kino Loy, inducts him into the strict disciplinary regime. Vel and Cinta travel to Ferrix to search for Cassian. When Marva falls ill, Bix attempts to contact Luthen about Cassian's whereabouts, but Luthen, heeding Clea's counsel, does not answer. Luthen then leaves Coruscant to meet with Saw Gerrera. He attempts to hire Gerrera's rebel cell as air support for a raid on an Imperial power station at Spellhouse organized by Anto Krieger, but is turned down. Dedra questions Cyril about his experiences on Ferrix, but declines his offer to help with her investigation. She leads the unit to Ferrix herself, where she apprehends Bix. We hate that. Nobody's Listening, Episode 9. Dedra and Imperial scientist Dr. Gorst torture Bix for information and discover that Cassian may have been involved in the Aldhani heist. Sorry, guys. However, because of Bix's lack of knowledge, they fail to learn anything about Luthen, whom Dedra has dubbed Axis. Observing that much rebel activity is centered around him, the ISB captured a rebel pilot from Krieger's group who revealed that the power station on Spellhouse is set to be raided. Mon Mothma reunites with Vel, revealed to be her cousin, and encourages her to keep a low profile, maintaining the facade of a rich and apolitical young woman. Mon Mothma and Tay Kolma continue working to covertly gather funds for rebel activities. Meanwhile, an elderly member of Cassian's prison work crew named Ulaf is euthanized by a prison medic when he suffers a massive stroke days from his release date. The medic confirms to Cassian and Kino a disturbing rumor. A prisoner being, quote-unquote, released at the end of his sentence was sent back around to work at the same prison, and the guards killed all the prisoners on that level in a cover-up. As the two realize that they will never be released alive, Cassian convinces Kino to attempt a breakout, which leads to the prison breakout, called One Way Out, Episode 10. After talking with Cassian, Kino convinces his ship to join and improve upon the escape plan. The next day, Cassian disables his unit's security system, allowing the prisoners to overpower the few guards and escape. Kino uses the prison's intercom system to incite rebellion throughout the rest of the prison, but reveals that he can't swim. Cassian swims with the other escapees and reaches land. Mon Mothma meets with Davos Golden, a shady businessman offering financial help for her projects, but declines after Skolden requests that she arrange a meeting between her 13-year-old daughter, Lita, and his 14-year-old son, Stetkin. Stetkin. I can't read. It's like Steven, but with a K.
Yeah, Stetkin.
Okay. A step toward their Chandrilan tradition of arranged marriage. Yee. ISB supervisor Lonnie Jung secretly... ISB supervisor Lonnie Young, secretly a rebel informant, meets with Luthen and updates him on ISB activities. The two men reflect on how they are both trapped in their roles.
Yeah, a lot of people get trapped. That's what I was saying, though.
Yeah, everyone's like, like you get put in this corner and you have no wiggle room to get out. Like you're there, and it sucks when you like, there's no line of sight anymore. You're like, oh, well, I guess I will die. Like that's kind of where like all these people are. Like they get stuck and they're like, well, this is
or like
how it is.
These prisoners who just like they just have had it doing prison labor every day.
Yeah.
They just decided they're just gonna step out into the electrical floor one night and fry themselves, and that's like the only escape that they see.
Yeah. Big. Whoa.
I'm gonna pop a top to talk about this.
He needs caffeine.
It's caffeine flavored water.
Yeah.
So I won't get too crazy. But you said that this was your favorite arc of all season 1?
Yes.
Or is this like your favorite of Andor altogether?
No, I don't. I think I like the Gorman stuff a little bit more than this. But it's edge of my seat. Like, I've seen it now 3 times. I think. Or is this only the second time?
You said this is only the second time.
I think actually it is the second time. Sorry. But
I said this is my third time watching, and your second
tripped
time.
up.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like, the Sparky floor, that makes me, like, stomach turn. Like, when that happens to them, like, right when they walk on, the first time that they get sparked.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Like the way
how they're all contorted.
Yes.
And the way that it's like the first time you see it, it's like out of focus, so
yeah.
you can't tell exactly like how bad it is, but it looks pretty terrible.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like. Obviously, Andy Serkis is an incredible actor.
It's my favorite thing he's ever done.
Yeah, it's intense.
Hands down.
But I love this like. I guess I love like this routine. Like it's like well, not even that, but just like the idea of like capturing someone or putting someone into prison, whatever, and taking them to this labor camp and like this is the way it is, and this at this time we do this, and at this time we do this, and this and this and this, and it's like. It's just like that beating down until you're literally just like a number and you can't... Like, you kind of like give up.
Though. That's like the people in power. Like, they want everyone in this country to either be a prison guard or a prisoner doing cheap labor.
Yeah. But it's just like soul-sucking. But they do an incredible job at relaying all of that. Like, with dialogue, with the goddamn... bed, like the dorm room area is so cool, designed.
There's a little line in there about like if 2 inmates get in the same bunk, they're fried.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So no love making.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all. But it's and also that's part of probably like they don't want people to be talking about escape and whatever. But the visuals of this are stunning because we literally come off of Ferrix being like this color-rich, kind of dirty, and then also the kind of vacation-y planet, Niamos, kind of being like colorful and beachy.
They both feel organic and lived in, and this is just so like cold and sterile and lifeless.
Yes, and everything is like blinky lights and big white panels and everything's sterile and clean, and they literally sterilize the people like every day, like with like a sonic shower, and like they have one plate and they're all the same. Like it's just stripping that individuality and personality, and I think it just is such a great way to have a visual align with the story. And I like that we get to like meet all of the different characters. Like we sit with Olaf and Melchi and.
But you feel for Olaf. Like it shows enough of him, and like people like celebrating with him. Like you're gonna get out of here soon.
Yeah.
And then like when you see him like struggling to keep up.
But what's so cool about this, I'm excited, is that even though the Empire has stripped them of all of these things, they still come together as a community in their group. Like Olaf starts to fall behind and another picks up his work and covers for him, and like they're like, you can't take that connection away from people, you know?
Yeah, it's like that community that Andor had on Ferrix that Cyril doesn't seem to have in his life.
Yeah. And and even though they do try to turn each other again, like they shock whoever's table is done last. Mm-hmm. And even though that happens every day, they're still all friends. They all know that it's not them. Like they're being like the Empire's trying to pit them against each other, but it still doesn't work because at the end of the day, they're all suffering together, and we don't ever see them be like mad at like one of their co-prison people and be like, well, I don't want to get shocked today. We gotta fuck them up. Like, we don't see any of that. Like, they are all trying to like race to get done.
You see a bit of that with Kino. He's like, whatever you do, don't slow up my line.
Yeah, but that's like, because that's his managerial. That's his job. Yeah. But like the actual guys who are working, like I love that they don't pit them against each other. Like they could have leaned into that.
But I mean,
harder.
that was the imperial effort was to do that. But like that's how like capitalists treats us. Like they want us to be like so desperate for any job and be like so like competing with each other, and like they hate unions. They don't want workers united together. They don't want workers to be like, hey, this is bullshit that you don't pay us, and this is bullshit that you take most of the money and just pay us a few scraps. So we're all gonna like stop working until you agree to pay us. And like that's like, I mean, look at the Epstein files. Like, we know what the richest, most powerful people in the world are terrified of. Mm-hmm. And you know what they're terrified of? It's fucking class consciousness. It's funny. You see, like, the people in charge, the powerful people, they have so much solidarity to preserve their power. And this, it's like a divide and conquer. Like, they don't, like, the scariest thing to the minority ruling authority is if the majority unites against you. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't even have to like unite everyone. Like, you can just like ignite like 10-20% of the workforce. You can shut shit down, you know?
Yeah. Something else I enjoyed about this is like when Cassian first comes on Narkina 5, they're all like dying to know what the word on the street is. What's the news? What's going on? Because they're all cut off.
They're so cut off. And even like Cassian, like approaching the prison, he's trying to like look out of the ship windows because like he can't see anything. He has no idea where they're going, and it's like looking through like those prison blinds. You know, there's like bars on the window of the ship, and he's able to like kind of make out like the ocean and this building that they dock onto, but it's like you get the impression like he's completely cut off.
Yeah, but I thought it was really cool that they included this because all of the prisoners, their time sentences got doubled because of the PORD.
Because of the Aldani reaction.
Mon Mothma has been actively fighting against. So we've heard about it before this episode.
She's the only person outside of this prison who even knows what the PORD stands for. Yeah.
And so like when they get in there and they're like, hey, like all this bullshit is happening to us. Like we're not even in here for like real fucking crimes. Like a lot of us were just like snatched because Cassian literally just got snatched for no good reason. He was, and he's literally like, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of the PORD.
But I guarantee you, I could get in the car and drive just a couple blocks around our neighborhood and find people who have like, man, I have no idea about like a war in Iran or like a blockade in Cuba. Like, what do you mean? Like, we went and abducted Maduro out of Venezuela. I don't even know where Venezuela is.
Yeah, 100%. But I love that that's where we see Cassian, because this is all Cassian's character growth, right? Like we see him coming from like you said, scavenger.
We didn't even talk about like his arrest. Like he's done all these crimes he's done, and then none of that's just even like what he's arrested for. You know what he's arrested for is being like the wrong guy at the wrong time at the wrong place.
Yeah, who's like a POC.
Yeah, people like running from cops, and then this guy is like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna like this dark skinned guy. He looks like he might be around. I need to make an arrest. But the scariest thing is watching this with one of my best friends is an attorney, and as someone who like practices law in the United States, I told him one time, like, I think about like that scene in Andor all the time when he gets arrested, but also like before that when he looks around and he sees the stormtroopers and he sees the probe droids, and just like, so like life under Empire. Like, it doesn't matter that you got all that money from that job and you're like you're hanging out popping pizzos with this chick in the hotel room, whatever the hell pizzos. We couldn't figure out if it was like candy or drugs. It's kind of fun.
It's
I think
ambiguous.
It's intentionally ambiguous. But anyways, and then but like he realizes like I can't like escape the Empire. It's gonna follow me everywhere. And then here, like, I wasn't even doing any crimes against the Empire for once, and they still would do this to me.
Yeah. What sucks is like when you're kind of like watching this, where you can see the people, like he's walking along the like seawall, and you see like all these people kind of like lounging and drinking and enjoying the ocean, and then like from way behind him, you see them starting to run and being chased by the stormtroopers, and like he notices, like after you've noticed, right? Because he's starting to hear them, they're approaching, and he doesn't know what to do, and I think that is so realistic of like how do you?
But it's like another. He's captured again.
Yeah,
it's like you can't get out of this
because like if he like turns and just sits down, they're still gonna grab him.
And he tries to. He tells the cop. It's like nothing he says to the shore trooper is gonna make a difference.
Yeah.
He's like when he's asked like, "Are you part of it?" And he's like, "Am I part of what?" And he's
right.
like I'm gonna ask the questions here.
Yeah.
It's like nothing. He's like
when he's like, "You're sweating
from
running," and he's like, "It's hot. I'm at the beach." Like, yeah. Ugh.
It's like nothing he can say can de-escalate the situation, and he's captured and he's trapped. But my best friend, who's an attorney, was like, that's such a realistic thing. Like, it happens in law enforcement all the time. Like, cops arrest someone for like little or no reason and ruin their life.
They kill them for no reason. This literally like.
It almost happened here, where like he tells the droid like, "Hang on to this one."
Yeah,
and then,
like, he's like choking him out. Yeah. Oh man, that is really George Floyd. Now that we're thinking about that, that's like really not on the nose at all, or it is right there. And I missed it still because he was up in the air instead of on the ground. I love how directly, how direct we can make real life parallels with this. Like they're not shying away from any of this like terrible shit that's happened.
And then like his trial is so like the magistrate, that imperial magistrate lady, she cracks me the hell up. That's whenever I watch the show, I look forward to her little brief time on screen because she just seems like such like a realistic bureaucrat. It's like, oh yeah, you're like the county judge in this like little county somewhere, and just you're just like, well, I'm sorry, the Empire has like these new policies. Okay, next, and just like she doesn't care, like
it's not affecting her, and she's just there to do her job. Like that's where it goes wrong. You get in like same with Cyril, right? Where it's like I got to do my job, and I get
like she's thinking about like going home and repainting her nails.
But we also see the other side, like in the ISB, like at the managerial meetings, people getting praised for the increase of imprisonment. Mm-hmm. And so, like, she's
it's
feeling
like
that pressure.
Stephen Miller, like, yells at ICE goons, like you need to get more arrests, more deportations.
Right. And so, like, you see, like, her being like, oh, man, like, I've got to crush these out because I have all this pressure on me to, like, increase numbers and, like, you know what I mean? And it's cool to see how it trickles down, I guess, like, in Andor, the show. But
speaking of the ISB, there's a lot of we see Wolf Yularen in that episode announcement. They're the main ISB guy, Major Paragaz or whatever his name is. Partagaz.
It's a cool name.
I think this is when Dedra gets on his good side. Dedra gets on his good side. That he was impressed at her going above and beyond, investigating.
She's got initiative.
Yeah.
And she's smart. And she's gonna take what she wants. She's like full steam ahead.
How do you feel seeing Wolf Yularen after we pointed him out in Clone Wars? So I tried every time he was on screen. I was like, well, look, there's Yularen.
Yeah.
Mainly so that when we got to this scene, I can be like, look, here he is again.
I was like, he doesn't look like how he looks like in the Clone Wars. He's much older. But, yeah, I mean...
It's been 13 years since the end of the war.
Probably wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't pointed it out 1,000 times. So.
When they show the clones who killed Clem Andor, Cassian Andor's adoptive father.
Yeah.
So that I figured out that had to be in 18 BBY, and so that's like
the turn.
Yeah, those are it's deep into Bad Batch. That's like season 2 or season 3 Bad Batch.
Yeah.
But did you notice they're in like the all white armor, which is how most of the clones look in those seasons of Bad Batch.
And again, great visual storytelling, having like that crisp, clean whiteness, like arm or whatever, against Ferrex's grungy, colorful background.
Yeah.
Huge visual, like, contrast. But yeah, the Clem stuff, like having the reveal that he used his adopted father's name as his undercover name, that hit pretty hard. And I love that they don't show him being hanged. And I do love that they show his father... Like, what happens is, like, the clones are, like, marching through Ferrex, and then there is a few protesters that start to throw rocks and stuff. And his dad actually intervenes and says, like, hey, like, don't throw these rocks at them. Like, they'll be out of here soon. We just need to be compliant. And then they end up killing all of them, including the father. Because he was just there, so they don't care that he was... Like, he doesn't get a chance to explain. Just like Andor doesn't get a chance to explain to the shore trooper when he's... I wouldn't say kidnapped, but... I guess arrested is the correct term, but kidnapped is more accurate. But, like, it's like history repeats itself, kind of. Like, Clem was trying to, like, you know, just be a part of his community and protect his family. Not his family, but, like, his community members in that specific case. But, you know, without all the context, like, the clone troopers are just like, well, you're dead. You're part of the uprising. We're not taking any of that.
And these episodes also bring in Mon Mothma's childhood friend, Tay, who he has kind of a cool introduction when he thinks of Mon Mothma, because she, like Luthen, has to play a character. Mm-hmm. Like, she's secretly funding the rebellion, but she's got to put on this public face. They're like, oh, I'm just your typical, liberal senator. Please vote for me. So she's trying to be like this like normie mainstream politician, and Tay is like, man, like, I don't really want to talk to a imperial senator. Like I don't really like the government. My politics can be a bit extreme. I get that we grew up together, but you might not like the way I talk about the. And she's like,
she like literally relaxes.
Like, she's like, Tay, you're like a champagne socialist. You're like this wealthy guy who likes like shitpost leftist memes on Facebook. But I'm actually funding armed resistance.
Yeah.
Like,
but I like that you do like see like a visual. I don't want to say like relaxing, but she has like this exhale, like when he says that, and she says like, you have no idea that what you've said has like helped me, like. I don't know. She says something about like how it's easier to talk about. I'm selling it
to people, and I'm glad I can trust you, but I'm glad I'm also like projecting the image that to her like childhood best friend who would know her better than anyone. Like even she even had him fooled. So,
do you want to mention Saw Gerrera?
Yes. So this is our first appearance of Saw Gerrera in live action that we've watched in Star Wars. We've seen him.
Order.
We've seen him in Clone Wars. We've seen him in Bad Batch in our chronological rewatch. It's also interesting to me that when you watch Star Wars like this, he has the first X-wings.
Yeah.
Like you make a big deal about acquiring the X-wings in Rebels. A few years after this, I think that's like a season 4 thing. Okay. Like they really hold off. Like they have like the A-wings for a long time, and then they get the Y-wings, and then like they really held off on the X-wings in Rebels. But somehow like these must be like some experimental prototypes, and Saw Gerrera has 2 of them. I think that's cool.
I think he was like, those look cool. I want them.
Yeah, or he stole them.
Oh, he 100% stole them.
And they're painted black. They're like stealth X-wings.
Saw Gerrera has style. We talk a lot about how the Empire has drip.
Yeah, Palpatine has drip. Like, well, that's a big part of fascism. Is like
you want it to be
the pageantry is
Yeah.
important, and like the imagery and like the projection of strength. But yeah, like anytime there's like an Imperial ship or like an Imperial uniform, it's like all their shit looks cool as hell.
Yeah.
The Rebels look like they got shit like they just bought at the Goodwill store. Yeah, like like these Imperials have like the latest and greatest technology. But yeah, Saw Gerrera and the whole like spell house thing with they have a rebel buddy Anto or Anton Krieger, Anto Krieger, who he's going to do this attack on an Imperial power station at Spell House. All that just sounds like so cool and so Star Wars to me. Anto Krieger, this rebel insurgent who's going to attack an Imperial power station at Spell House, and it's spelled like house, like Haus instead of House. I don't know. That's just cool. Spell House. Yeah, but it's Spell House. It's I don't know. It's like witches do spells there or some shit. But he gets like, it's funny, like Saw Gerrera doesn't want to agree to do it at first, and like Luthen won't admit to like, I did the Aldhani job. Like the Aldhani job's making like big waves, like everyone wants to talk about it, and he won't take credit for it. And then, but Saw Gerrera like actually does decide he wants to go help Anto Krieger. But like, it's kind of like leftist infighting that happens. Like people like they want to like take, not so much like taking credit, but it's important to them, and they know that like, well, I don't know if I can trust someone else's values, but I know what my values are, so it's important that I can control this or influence this. But like he's like I gotta demand these terms to work with these other rebels, and it's just, I don't know, I found that very fascinating in real world too. But that's kind of that. I guess more of that gets explored in the final 2 episodes, but they start setting that up here.
I also wanted to bring up the torture of Bix and the I don't remember the shop owner's name, the garage owner where Bix worked and where the communicator was for Luthen.
Where they have the part of the Rebel logo.
Yeah, man, this is like sickening.
Yeah, Dedra goes to Ferrix. Like, they really want... Oh, we forgot to mention that Cassian went back home and said goodbye to Marva.
Oh, correct, yeah.
And he
tried to take her with him.
Yeah. But she's kind of like, no, like, I was born on Ferrix, I'm going to die on Ferrix. Like, I need to leave. Like, the Empire ain't going to drive me out of here. I'm going to drive them out.
She's inspired by the Aldhani heist.
Yeah. By her son.
And he can't tell her. Yeah, but she's like, I'm going to resist as much as I can here until
but
I
that's
die.
Not, like, such, like, another cool... Like, I love, like, watching how these reactions react to each other. Like Cassian being in this trap where he kind of like what else was he gonna do? Like he's kind of forced to do the Aldhani job. But then like that like inspires his mom, and she's gonna like stay and fight this rebel cause that will, as we'll talk about, will end up inspiring like other people. But also like forcing some people off of that planet, and then the ramifications go on and on from there. But it's so fascinating to me to watch these complex actions and reactions, and how like they can trigger like all these things, but then like it seems like, well, how else was it going to play out? Like that was kind of inevitable. But it's just really fascinating. A beautiful show. I love everything about this show.
Dr. Gorst, though.
Oh, but like the way he tortures her, that's such a cool idea.
It is a really cool idea. It turns my stomach even just thinking about it.
I want to sample that for like the sickest metal album ever.
Oh no, terrible. But this, like this sleazy little scientist. He's all like hyper excited about this like discovery during a like occupation of another planet, and they're mass killing all of these people, and he discovers, or not, maybe not him specifically, but they discover as an empire that this specific species, as they're dying collectively, create this insane choral like pleading death sound.
Yeah, it's like a death scream. It's the most unsettling thing anyone's ever heard.
Yeah, and that it drove some of their Imperial, like, I guess, troopers and whoever was there on that planet, like, insane. To the fact where they were like hiding and they were extra anxious and fearful and like out of mind, like obliterated almost. Like they
It's
had
like
all these issues.
These IDF soldiers that come back from like bulldozing people's houses and shooting babies in Gaza, and then they're like so like psychologically fucked up after that.
Yeah, but specifically, he samples children dying to Bix. That was specifically an even worse level of sound
That was like
torture.
the worst that they had. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, just like.
But see, like, the level of thought and creativity that went into, like, creating that for such, like, a small little... Like, they could have just, like, put her up to, like, the little sparky sparks, like Han Solo gets tortured in Cloud City with.
Yeah.
But it's such, like, a cool, creative, uniquely kind of science fiction, Star Wars-y idea.
Yeah. And also reiterates how frequently the Empire just mass genocide.
Well, the Empire is very, like, pro-human, and these are, like, some weird aliens.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, like, with Thrawn being, like, unique.
And you notice, like, on Coruscant, it's, like, so human-y now.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Less and less unique, less colorful, less alien.
And it's not safe. It's not
subtle.
safe for your alien friends.
Yeah,
it's like when it's not safe... Like, it's like when it feels like it's not safe for, like, your queer and trans friends.
Do you know which planet does still have all of their colorful friends? Ferrix. There's tons of background aliens.
I think one of my complaints about Andor Season 1 is that I think it could have used, like, a bit more alien. Like, everyone in the prison is human.
They're like, we're spending so much on... production value. We don't have time for prosthetics.
But yeah, maybe if they had like a couple more alien characters on Ferrix.
They do have more though there.
Yeah,
than anywhere else.
When you look though, yeah, you definitely like spot a lot more there than on Coruscant.
Mm-hmm. Looking at. We kind of talked about Mon Mothma and Tacoma.
Any more thoughts on Olaf's death? Before we talk about the one way out?
I do want to talk about a little bit... real quick. I forgot to mention this earlier when I was talking about how you can't take the community out of people. Like, when you throw them all together, you've stripped them of identity, and they still become friends and, like, work together, right? Some of the people in this Floor 5... have learned sign language to communicate across the building, and I think that's so fucking cool. I still am an adamant ASL should be taught to everyone, because how else could you communicate
sometimes
to
she
someone?
Wants to signal to me from like
I need to teach you a lot of basics.
The other side of the parking lot or something.
But yeah, it's like really important. Like some of my friends and I, who we've had deaf friends and deaf coworkers, and we've learned a lot of ASL, and it's so nice to be able to be like across the store and just sign some things.
Yeah.
It's literally so simple. I don't want to say simple, but like it's so teachable and useful across like all kinds of things. Because in this environment where they're in the prison and they just have the glass tunnels and they're like literally meters and meters and meters away from each other, they can still communicate. And that's how they find out that one guy on something happened on floor 2.
Yeah.
And
that's so fucked up too. How they learned
they fucked up.
Well, the idea, like, they do this hard labor in this prison, and then they're shipped off to another prison.
Yeah, so what they normally do is they take you when you get released, and then just move you somewhere way the fuck else.
Yeah, where they probably just wait for you to die.
Wherever they process you for your next prison sentence, basically, they fucked up and sent him back to exactly where he was, just a different floor. And then when they found out, because that guy's obviously going to be pissed the fuck off, and he's like, I gotta tell everybody. And so floor 2 completely gets killed.
Because these men have nothing else to... All they do is they look at their little counter for how many days they have to work.
The only hope they have.
And they just all saw it double.
Yeah.
And yeah, then they learn, like, oh, like, even if we get out of there, like... Makes me wonder, like, where was he going? Like, is it like some other prison where, like, okay, you just, like, go here, now that, like, we probably can't get any more work out of you, and we're going to do medical experiments on you until you die. Or, like, you know, something else like that. But they said, like, this prison is understaffed, and it's, like, yeah, like, the dipshits that work there. And in a lot of these imperial systems, I guess, there's a lot of incompetence. Like, the people who sign up to join ICE seem to be pretty low IQ individuals, a lot of cases. And yeah, they just made like a little clerical error.
Yeah. Little dum-dums. But yeah, what I wanted to bring up about Olaf's death, I guess euthanization, is that the prison medic who, I love this character because he's so beaten down. Like, he can't save anyone. Like, what is the worst role you can put a doctor in where he can't help any of the people that he's being sent to treat?
And we're kind of all conditioned to, like, look up and respect doctors. It's like, oh man, like, you had to go to school for like 8 years just to even be qualified to get this job. And like, you know, we're supposed to like trust them and kind of treat them as like these like wise, respected members of society, which I think honestly, like, all the biggest assholes I've ever met in my life were doctors.
Your nurse is doing more to save your life than your doctor.
But it still kind of hits hard to see, like, oh man, like, this guy's supposed to be like practicing medicine, and instead, like, he's just this other slave imprisoned here to toil away. Mm-hmm. It's depressing.
But this guy literally, like, he's basically just like a glorified murderer,
a euthanizer.
Like, that's the only thing they give him is like, well, if they get hurt or if you can't treat it.
And he's done it so many times. He's like, I don't want to know his name.
Yeah, because he's so broken. Like but he confirms to Kino, who has been anti-rebellion. He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to incite it.
Yeah.
He like shuts it down all the time because he's like, just put your head down, do the work, and get out of here.
Because he actually, like, he seems like an asshole. Like, he seems like a hard ass, but he seems like he cares. Like, like, he wants to get himself out of prison.
But he wants his team out, too.
Yeah.
And he wants them to survive.
Yeah.
And not
like, he's looking out for, and we know by the end of the season how much, like, he actually is looking out for all of them. Because, like, he knows he's not escaping from this tower in the middle of the water. Like, he's when he's eventually convinced to do the escape after the death of Olaf, and it's like, oh, I love that too. I love this fucking show.
So good.
I love that it's not like it just took like this one badass dude, this guy who is like so cool and so badass, and he got into the prison, he inspired a riot, and then he did like all the cool things like shoot the guard or whatever, and like he led them out. But it's like, no, like, this is all a collective effort.
Mm-hmm.
But you see like Cassian have his radicalization moment with Kino,
mm-hmm.
when he's like, yeah, like, you just heard what the doctor said, you just saw Olaf like literally get worked to death, worked till this old man had a stroke, thinking he was about to get out of prison, thinking he was going to get something that was never actually going to happen,
and find out that you're going to be re-prisoned after this prison sentence. So there's no hope.
Yeah, and so like then like when he knows like, yeah, I'm not going to get out of here, my men aren't going to get out of here, and he gives like that speech to them about like, I'm looking at this like I'm already dead.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just gonna go and just fuck up their shit and get as many of us out of here as possible. It's like, yeah, because like he knows like he can't swim.
I don't know if he realized.
I think he.
You think he did?
I think because I've wondered about this before watching the show, and so watching it this time, I was thinking that, and like, yeah, like, I think like when he says that, I'm looking at this like I'm already dead. He is strictly in this to betray this prison as like a fuck you to them, but also like, I'm gonna get as many of these guys out of here as possible.
I kind of still believe that he was surprised, because I think it's very easy to be on that shuttle and locked in. You can't see much out of the windows. But when they dropped Cassian off, they did remove the shuttle very quickly, and you could see all the water. Because remember, he was like, breathe deeply. This might be the last air you ever breathe. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe he wasn't surprised. But I always took it that he was surprised. Like,
was that Melshi or was that someone else?
I think it was someone else.
So and then he meets Melshi in the prison.
Yeah.
Working at I think they're at the same table.
But man, that is devastating though. When there's so much more that happens before this, I guess we shouldn't talk about it. But when Kino does says, like, I can't swim, whatever, I mean, just water works for me. I was very tearful. That, just, like, it's kind of that same mentality, like, in Rogue One. And that's what I love that they brought this into Andor, where I love Jyn Erso's speech when she says, we'll take the next opportunity, and then the next, and the next, until there's no other opportunity.
That hits harder now after seeing this.
Yeah, like, you see that same like strategy here. Like, it's the only hope they have is the next foot forward. Like, you may not make it around the corner, but god damn it, you're gonna walk down this hallway.
Or like
first.
when they first start their escape plan, when they stop the elevator halfway, and like because they had to do this when a newbie came in, and they just lost Olaf, so they knew they were getting a newbie the next day. It might be like their only chance.
Yes.
That guy doesn't know jack shit about the plan, but he still like gets on board and helps out. And even though like he's shot like right after that, he was still able to participate in the collective effort.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
And he because like we know what happens with the rest of Star Wars. He participated in taking down the fucking Death Star that all these men are being forced to construct.
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing I wanted to talk about was like some of the strategy here, like because we see Cassian talking with Melshi and that other guy, I forgot his name. I don't remember his name, sorry. But they have been talking about how they're going to escape. And, like, he's been working on that pipe in the bathroom. And, like, they have, like, the beginnings of a plan. But it's, like, when they learn about Floor 2 getting euthanized. And then, like, they know that there's going to be an increase in guards because of that. And then Olaf dies, and there's literally no other opportunity. They're like, it's literally tomorrow.
Yeah, they're short-staffed, they're frazzled.
Yeah, because they're on edge.
They're bringing down the elevator to drop off the newbie.
Right.
And I already been working on a plan.
It was like all the ducks finally lined up. And it's like, there's not, like, the window of opportunity is small. And I love that tension.
The first time you watch it, it's super exciting because you could see this guy, he could break either way, you know? It's like, is Cassian going to convince him? And then when he does, it's so satisfying. When he gives, like, that speech, when he gives this... This is one of the best moments in all of Star Wars, to be honest, but when Andy Serkis leans into that microphone, and it looks like how when Harrison Ford's talking into the mic and Star Wars saying, like, the goofiest shit about, like, there's a reactor leak down here, very dangerous. Who is this? What's your operating number? It was a boring conversation anyway. Luke, we're going to have company. It's just,
thanks for the recap. But yeah,
we see him. But here it's like this fucking, like, dramatic-ass moment.
Yeah.
Of him giving the speech to inspire this prison riot.
Yeah.
And also terrify the fucking Imperials. Like, the speech sent all of them hiding in that storage closet.
Yeah, I loved that. They were like, just let it happen. Like, you know, it's not worth our lives over this.
You see, like, they don't have, like, that loyalty to the They're not Cyril Karns.
No.
They're just, like, dudes going to work.
Yeah, they're just normies. Like, what? I didn't know that we were torturing people. But yeah, I love all of the escape. I love how everything lines up. Like, they're all working together. Like, it's so sad. Like, so many of them die, like, in the process of this. But I love
But it's better to, like, it's like Cassian said, like, it's better to die opposing them, than to die giving them what they want.
Yeah. So
it's like,
incredible.
like, I would take that jump. I would be like, I'll either die in this ocean or be free in this ocean, but I'm not gonna stay in this prison.
That's also, I was gonna mention, like, the slave ships and like jumping overboard and stuff, even being very similar, line up in historical fascism, colonialization.
Taylor and I were on a Caribbean cruise earlier this year, and I was standing over the edge of the ship thinking about, like, man, like, so many terrible crimes have happened over these waters.
Yeah, I always think of Joseph Mallard William Turner's painting The Slave Ship, and it's like this beautiful sunset with this beautiful ship, but in the foreground of the ocean is just a ton of people that were chained together, drowning, and that was like I think when I was in high school, and my first art history course when I learned about that, and that just like moved me to tears, like that piece especially. But going back to his speech, I loved Cassian giving him a pep talk, being like, "That's the best you can do. Like, you do this every goddamn day. You got to do better than that." Yeah, and I loved that. I loved that they, like, like the way they threaten the Imperial guys on that bridge, you know, where they're like, they shot that one guy and they're like, yeah, like you better fucking do what we say. And I don't know, just like all that dynamic is so good where they're like, shut it down. And he's like, I don't think you understand what I meant. Like, shut it the fuck down. And the guy's like, it'll take months to come back up. And he's like, oh, perfect. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, you just gave us even more information than we knew like 2 seconds ago. Yeah, like definitely shut it down that way. Thank you. But yeah, the prison sequences are all just, like, so memorable. Like, when I think of Andor, that's, like, the first thing I think of. Are there any more thoughts you have about the prison stuff before we move on?
I don't think so. I'm just taking a quick look at my notes here. But yeah, I think that is all of it. I guess there's that scene with Luthen and Lonnie that's also in One Way Out. It's really cool.
Oh, yeah. We learned that ISB guy...
Yeah.
Who has been on rewatch. It's so easy to see that
he like, always looks nervous. He's late to that meeting.
He's, like, eyeballing people.
His life is just constant anxiety.
Yeah.
From the time he wakes up to the time he goes to bed.
And, like, how many lives are on him, but he can't say anything because he has to maintain his cover. Like when they have that fake rebel ship, like... with the dead pilot that they stage as like a technical issue that caused him to die, and he says like, well, y'all better get some Imperial ships in there, y'all gotta act like everything is normal. Like, he makes that suggestion to maintain, like, he doesn't want them to actually do that, but he's like, y'all should do it like this because that's what we would normally do. Like, don't make them think that
he's just going through the motions, playing the role. Like,
he still has to be a strategist against the rebels, like, even though he is a rebel.
It's possible that Luthen kind of made things worse when he tells Lonnie, like, we had nothing to do with Aldhani. Let Dedra keep investigating that. She's wasting her time. And it cuts to, like, a reaction. It cuts to a reaction shot of him where he looks like, oh, yeah, maybe that's a good idea then. Okay, tell her to keep looking at that stuff.
Keep her distracted, is what Luthen said.
But it actually, maybe that's what, ends... maybe that is what led to her coming to Ferrix for Marva's funeral or something like that. Because she's, still focused in the Aldhani stuff. Mm-hmm. But what Luthen says about, his motivations and how, he feels compelled to burn his own decency and be this hard man to do hard things.
Yeah, this speech from Luthen is insane, and also is really good when you remember the title of the episode is One Way Out. That's kind of what he's saying in his own speech to himself, is like, I'm in it. I gave up on being saved or redeemed. He's like, I know I'm the bad guy. And this is when I brought up that lady from Project Hail Mary, is she has similar discussions like this. Like, she's like, I know that y'all fucking hate all this, and I don't want to be doing it either, but someone has to. You know, I'm gonna knock this guy out, put him on a rocket ship, and then he's gonna be the reason that we fix the sun. So Luthen is that same character. Like that initiative, that drive. But yeah, this speech was really moving to me too.
And then when he talks about just fighting for a future that he knows he'll never see.
Yeah, a sunrise he'll never.
It's very much it makes me think of the Huey P. Newton quote. The first lesson a revolutionary needs to learn is that he's already a doomed man.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
There's another one too. Is plant the seeds now for trees you'll never see.
You'll never stand in the shade of.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
All very good and relevant.
But we can move on to the final 2 episodes of the season.
Hell yeah.
We're doing great on time. It's only 15 minutes over 2 hours.
It's going to be a 3-hour show. So, The Daughter of Ferrix, episode 11. Marva dies, prompting a large funeral gathering on Ferrix, which Dedra authorizes in the hopes that Andor will attend. Vel informs Clea of Marva's death and learns of Mon Mothma's reluctant plan to marry off Leda. Lita begins taking part in gatherings that promote Chandrilan traditions, much to the distress of Mon Mothma and Bel. Cyril learns about the funeral from Linus Mosk. Saul Gerrera decides at the last moment to assist Krieger's attack on Spellhouse, but Luthen advises him against it, revealing that the plan has leaked to the ISB. To avoid attracting suspicion from the ISB, Saul agrees to let Krieger and his men be ambushed by Imperial forces. Flying back to Coruscant, Luthen escapes from an Imperial patrol, destroying several TIE fighters and the tractor beam deployed by a Cantwell-class arrestor cruiser. On Narkina 5, with help from Coredians, Dewey, and Freedy, Cassian and fellow prisoner Melshi are able to escape the moon and recover Cassian's belongings from Niamos. Niamos. They part ways after Cassian discovers that Marva has died, intending to publicly expose the injustice in the Imperial prison system. In the finale, Rick's Road, episode 12, Cassian returns to Ferrix for Marva's funeral and learns of Bix's imprisonment. Dedra and the local Imperial garrison prepare to capture Andor for questioning regarding access. Using the Imperial ambush as cover, Luthen plans, with Vel and Cinta's assistance, to kill Cassian to protect Rebel secrets. The ISB succeed in stopping Krieger's attack, but leave no prisoners, angering Dedra. Lita is introduced to Skolden's son. At Marva's funeral, B, the droid, plays a recorded speech by Marva that rallies the populace to fight the Empire, kindling a riot. During the confusion, Cassian rescues Bix, while Cyril saves Dedra from an attack. Meeting with B, Brasso, and several others in a shipyard, Cassian convinces them to take Bix away from Ferrix to safety. Moved by the rebellion on Ferrix, Luthen returns to a ship where Cassian is waiting. Deducing Luthen's intentions, Cassian challenges Luthen to either kill him or take him in, to which Luthen smiles. In a post-credit scene, droids assemble the machinery produced by the Narkina 5 prisoners in the firing dish of the Death Star. Big reveals in episode 12.
Dave actually told me he thought that was a mistake to do that in-credit scene. He said, like, that's too modern and pop. It kept it from being, like, a timeless classic.
Interesting. But I think it was important to include that scene. But you're just saying, like, it shouldn't have been post-credit.
Yeah. I think if it was, like, right before the credits.
Yeah.
But,
these episodes.
Yeah, so, big shit in here. Just to focus on Daughter of Ferrix a little bit more first, that is, it's sad, like, that episode, like, opens with, like, Marva had, like, just died, like, before the episode. Mm-hmm. So, like, we're not even there for it.
I love how they handled that.
It's like, we miss it, like Cassian missed it.
Yeah.
But B2 or B2 emo is
yeah.
He's like a little emo droid, but no, he's being too emo. But I don't think he is. I feel sorry for him. Yeah.
I joked that he reminds us of Amos because he shakes whenever he's nervous and scared. Amos just shakes the little chihuahua.
Yeah,
trembles.
And he's so clingy. He doesn't want to be alone.
He's like, I don't want to leave the house.
He's just like Amos.
Yeah.
He just wants, like, Cassian and Marva to be at home with him.
Yeah. Literally.
And he can never understand, like, why can't we just do that, like, all the time and everything would be perfect.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for B2 or B2 emo, whatever we're calling
They call them all of those things. I like B because...
And that's Alan Tudyk does that voice, I think. Because he doesn't get to be K2SO. He was like, man, I was going to be in every episode. And then Gilroy was like, we can't just have the droid come in and beat up all the bad guys in every episode.
Thank God.
We were not going to introduce you till season 2.
Yeah.
But, kind of kept him from getting more voice work, I guess. Alan Tudyk's in a lot of stuff, though. I think he's doing okay.
Yeah.
But we also have the follow-up scene to Luthen and Saul Gerrera, where, like, Luthen goes back, and Saul Guerrera's, like, all, like, gung-ho, like,
he's like, hell yeah, I'm ready to go, I've thought about it, you're right, we should be friends, and like, Luthen's like, wait.
He's been, like, looking at, like, Rebel social media, and, like, he, like, went and looked at, like, all of, like, Anto Krieger's recent posts and stuff, and be like, you know what, like, I like this guy, I'm on board with him. He's like, I'm looking forward to, like, working together.
Like, you know how hard it is to change Saul Gerrera's mind, and like, now you have to do it again? Like, Jesus, poor Luthen.
He's so stubborn and so hard-headed. Again, like, I love him immediately being a thorn in the side of the Empire. Like like right after Order 66.
They're like Order 67, Saw Gerrera.
Yeah. He's like, as soon as like Palpatine said the Galactic Republic will be reorganized into the first Galactic Empire, it's like immediately Saw Gerrera's like, and it's about to get disorganized.
Yeah.
I'm getting to work. But yeah, and then here when that just like the tension in that scene too, when Luthen comes clean with Saw Gerrera and is like, yeah, I know that Spellhouse is going to be a slaughter. It's not going to be a Spellhouse. It's going to be Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
and Krieger is R.I.P.
Yeah.
And then Saw Gerrera's reaction to that, when he's like, and then how he takes it personal. He's like, "Would you do that to me?
Yeah.
Would you send me to die?" Like,
he's like, "What would you do, Gerrera?" Oh well, yeah. I thought this was really interesting because when I watch it, I see this as like Luthen is torn. Like he doesn't want Krieger to die, right?
But like he passes the buck to Saw, because like at this point, like Saw Gerrera could go and warn him.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up of Luthen. But like he said, like he's like, I'm done trying to be a good person. Like I just accept there's things you get in life, there's things you don't get in life, and I don't get to have a clean conscience. I have to go fight this empire. But like but here it's like I struggle with this decision, so I'm just gonna pass the buck to Saw Gerrera.
I thought. At first, when I was watching it, I was like, oh, that's, like, kind of cool of Luthen to, like, loop Saw in, and you're like, that's the worst thing. Yeah. You're like, now he's involved in this decision. Yeah, you're right.
I was looking at it from, like, Saw Gerrera's perspective, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, like, I would hate that if someone did this to me. It's like, you're forced to choose between sacrificing a comrade or possibly destroying our entire operation.
Yeah. Man, brutal.
But Luthen makes it's not like Luthen knows what he wants to do, but he doesn't want to be the one to make the call. So he forces he explains it to Saw Gerrera, but then because he explains it, he argues his case well enough that he convinces Saul to make the bad decision for him.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was funny in this argument, too, that Saul, when he's like, would you do that to me? Do you have spies around me? Because you have a spy at ISB. And then Luthen, like, just, like, for no reason is just singling out Two Tubes. Yeah. He's like, yeah, Tubes is my spy. And he's like, what the hell? No, I'm not.
he was one of the Cloud Riders we talked about last time with the Solo movie.
Yeah, he was in the Solo movie.
So he's making he's moved up from fighting the crime gangs to fighting the Empire.
I hate that Luthen stressed him the fuck out, though, in that when he was trying to claim that he was one of his spies.
Yeah. You think, like, after that, like, Saw Gerrera is, like, constantly, like, I don't know if I can trust Tubes anymore.
Yes!
Like, for the rest of his life, he was like that.
Yeah, and Two Tubes, his whole life is like, that fucking Luthen, man. I have to work twice as hard now to maintain trust.
The more you see Saw Gerrera...
And he's, like, losing his mind.
Yeah, he gets more and more paranoid.
Yeah.
And we eventually learn, like, he's huffing Rhino.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, man.
But yeah, I like... so we saw him in Rebels and... I mean, not Rebels, but Clone Wars and Bad Batch. And I was thinking, like, he's, like, maybe 20 years old in Bad Batch. He's, like, early 30s right now, yeah. So, but, like, he has, like, big hair in Andor Season 1. And the more we see him, he has less and less hair. In Rogue One, when he dies, he's bald. Yeah. So it's...
There we go.
You can track his age by his...
hair continuity. Yeah. But yeah, that was all really good, exciting, sad, I don't know, traumatizing. But I do like that Luthen is including Saw in some decisions, and I think that shows him respecting Saw in some ways. Like, even though it is taking a lot of pressure off of Luthen, like, I do think, like, I don't know. Like, Saw is always asking for more information, right? And Luthen's like, I'm going to be a dick, and I'm going to give him more information.
They're such different. Like, their operations are so different.
So different,
like,
yeah.
They both have to, I guess, deal with, like, a lot of intelligence, but, like, Luthen lives undercover, and Saw Gerrera lives, like, Bin Laden hiding in a cave. You know, he's, like, off the grid. Yeah. He's, like, this, like, he has, like, this guerrilla army base off the grid. But he's stirring up enough trouble in that area that just Luthen go in to visit, and then he gets, like, pulled over by an Imperial patrol. And they're like, there's partisan activity in this area.
Yeah. Dude, that... Are we talking about, like, the ship now?
Yeah, the tractor beam ship.
That whole sequence, where he finally starts basically fighting back to release himself from the tractor beam is so cool.
It's another example of a character being trapped, though, and, like, their hand is forced.
Yeah.
Because, like, those Imperials, they were like, oh, yeah, looks like he's cleared, like, some Alderaan cargo ship. And then the commanding officer is like, well, let's, like, pull him over and board his ship anyways. We need to practice. You know, like, the men need to practice boarding a ship. Mm-hmm. So, if he would have just let him go, he wouldn't have got his ship destroyed.
Talk about the lasers.
Yeah, so, like, the TIE fighters that get sliced by the... So this is something that came up when we were watching this, because, like, I was freaking out watching this scene. I was like, oh my god. So this is another thing I always look forward to seeing in Andor, and it's in the second to last episode, so you really have to wait for it. But they're saying, like, man, like, the ship shots in this show are so beautiful. And this is, like, I'm a guy who watches Star Trek, watches Star Wars, and I point out a lot of things. One of the things I point out is, like, the ship designs. Like, I'm in a room surrounded with model starships. Mm-hmm. There's I don't know how many are in our fleet. Over 47.
Oh my god.
But Andor is a show that, you know, it focuses on politics, on character, on all these other things. It doesn't really focus on ships. But this just happens to have, like, the one ship scene in the show is, like, some of the best ship shots in all of Star Wars. Some of the most, like, gorgeous looking, just, like, coolest fucking ideas. It's just like a little visual thing. It could have been anything. It just could have been, like, he just, like, shoots off a couple, like, little torpedoes. Mm-hmm. Or he just did some, like, secret weapon he had. But, yeah, it's just... I mean, all it is like, oh, his spaceship had neat lasers. But the way that they execute it, of, like, the spinning and the slicing the TIE fighters.
Yeah. Oh, it's super cool.
Or just when he dumps all of the shrapnel into the tractor beam. Yeah.
That was so cool. That reminds me of, like, something that happened in Pirates of the Caribbean with the silverware, but I can't remember. Like, it's stirring a memory, like, where the silverware is, like, used as, like, a weapon, and they throw the whole thing of silverware. I think this is in the first one, in the Dead Man's Curse or whatever. That's not the title of it. I can't remember the title of it.
The Black Pearl.
The Black Pearl.
The Curse of the Black Pearl.
The Curse of the Black Pearl. There we go. Anyway, I really enjoyed that whole sequence. I really liked the laser slicing of the TIE fighters. I thought that was cool as shit.
Yeah, the Fondor is a cool ship.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad Luthen didn't turn out to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, I guess, theorized. I wanted this to be, like, a show of, like, not Jedi, of, like, just the majority of the galaxy. Like, that's that side of the rebellion. It's just, I was so impressed that they could make, like, an entire season of Star Wars without showing a lightsaber light up.
Yeah.
Because that was my big complaint after the Solo movie. Like, there's no need for a lightsaber. Like, why force that in here? And I was like, oh, maybe Andor will pull it off. And it was such a relief to get to that final... I mean, like, I love lightsabers, but, like, yeah, I want to have a lightsaber-less Star Wars show. I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
It makes it a bigger deal. Like, watching this, like, going from this to Rogue One to Star Wars, it makes it a bigger deal when you see, like, Luke light up a lightsaber. Or, like, when Vader lights up a lightsaber.
Yeah.
But the final episode, I guess, the machine... Or, no, I'm talking about some Rebel stuff. Rick's Road.
Uh-huh.
I guess I should also mention that they go back to the hotel room and get the get his stash. But it included...
Oh, yeah.
The manifesto was in there. So we get to hear that again in Rick's Road. They replay Nimic's reading of his manifesto. But yeah, the big funeral scene with Marva, all of that is so good.
Oh man, I was waterworks crying for a lot of it. Like I had to redo my eyeliner after watching it for this show.
Did it make you think of Granny's funeral when they started playing that message?
No, but yeah, that is... at Granny's funeral, she had pre-recorded a bunch of messages for us, which was really special.
Yeah, that's what it made me think when she said, like, I feel like I can see you all.
Yeah.
That made me think of
that's
Granny.
what actually triggered the waterworks
I
for
know,
me, was
yeah.
that specific. I was like, oh, I know. Yeah, wow. I always love tradition and, like a sequence of events kind of thing. Like, every time someone dies, this is what we do.
It's like when a show or movie can, like, slow down and just show you, like, the whole process.
Yeah, and and like a cultural significance or just like the procedure. I would call this like a procession.
Like it makes you feel like you're one of these imperial officers that are stationed here, like watching this, like
getting to experience this, like as an outsider. Yeah.
And like the somber tone of all of it.
Yeah, and what I love too about all of this is, like, Dedra was trying to make it like push and pull with them, give them a permit, but then make it like less people and like tell them a different time and like close down part of the street. Like she was kind of like give them a little, you know, like make them think that you're giving a lot. You know, instead of saying like, no, you can't do this, whatever, because they want the funeral to be able to capture Cassian because they think he'll show up. So
it's kind of more of like that clash between like the military and then like the intelligence agency.
Yeah, and I love that the Daughters of Ferrix are the ones like organizing all of this for their previous president Marva, you know, who was a daughter of Ferrix.
Yeah, that's like another thing. Like this planet has it has a rich culture, and it's like there's like old ladies here in Texas. They have like the Daughters of the Republic. I think
it's Confederacy, like, but yeah.
Well, there's like a Texas one too, but but I don't know. It might also be full of a lot of weird old racist people.
There's both, I'm sure, But yeah, like having the Daughters of the of Ferrix organize Marva's funeral. What I liked, sorry to back up a little bit, but what I like about all of this too is that Cassian isn't there, and everyone kind of knows like he's on the run, and we don't need him here. We don't want him here. Like that's gonna. Well, not that they don't want him there, but they don't want him to get caught.
Right.
Most of them don't. And
it is odd that he got out of prison right before his mom's funeral.
That was a convenient. Yes.
It's the will of the Force.
Yeah. But where was I trying to go with this? Oh, I love that even though Cassian's not there, there are people there to plan on her funeral and like make sure that she's like memorialized. And like we have the Daughters of Ferrix who were obviously with her for several days before she passed away and were there to clean up her house when she did, and they comforted Bee. Like Brasso was there, Bix was there. Like their community is showing up for Marva when Cassian is unavailable. But also I think even if he was there, they would be showing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like they go like this extra mile knowing that like Cassian cannot be here for her. And like I love the way that they comfort the droid whenever, you know, they have to tell him like that Marva died and like that he needs to be responsible.
Yeah, it's like taking in like someone's dog or something after they die.
And but all of that to say, like, I love that the Daughters of Ferrix were in communication with the Empire, or, like, the Imperial control on Ferrix about this funeral, and they're, like, going back and forth. And you just know that this whole time, they're like, yeah, we're just saying all this shit, but we're actually going to do exactly what the fuck we want. And I think that is, like, when the anvil starts ringing early, because they're supposed to start at 2, and they start ringing the anvil at noon, because that's their tradition. Everyone in the Empire is like, oh no, what the fuck is that? Like, I don't know what's going on. And I love that slow build of everyone coming together for this procession.
It's also so incredibly Irish. When it became a tradition in Ireland to just start ignoring British law.
And to have, like, a really amazing musical procession, like
but see, that's like that's another part of like the cultural clashes in North Ireland. But you have like the Catholic stuff and the Protestant stuff, and like both religions feeling like they have like a claim to the streets to do things their way.
But I thought it was a beautiful funeral.
Like
have everyone there. Everyone's dressed up in their uniforms. Like Brasso.
The parade.
And Cassian is on planet at this point. He's found Brasso. He's found that other guy, Selga or something like that. And he's talked to them. You know, he's like, I'm being hunted. Yeah. They know this. Like, he has to stay away. But I love that handing of the torch of carrying the brick to Brasso like gets that
Oh,
honor.
yeah.
Because Cassian
Yeah,
can't.
that's such like a cool tradition that they mix your ashes into a brick.
And then you become part of Ferrex, like
Yeah.
you're built in, like
Yeah.
you're part of the literal foundation of this place that built you, and now you're building it.
Yeah,
in
like that's
return.
so communal.
Yeah.
Like you're always a part of it.
What a beautiful tradition.
And what you were talking about earlier, or about like you have to take like every step and then take like the next step. And then, but the Gen Urso thing. But what I was talking about like the prisoner newbie who got to participate in the escape and then died immediately, but he still got to contribute to that. But that's kind of like a lot of revolutionaries over the years talk about like it's kind of one road that like we each just like lay a stone in. Mm-hmm. And then like a lot of us aren't gonna like be alive to see the victory of the revolution, but we're a stone on the road there, on the path there.
Yeah.
That's it makes me think of that. It evokes that. But the speech from her hologram is so cool. The fucking like prefect trying to like cover it up with his coat, and then like that doesn't work. It's still projecting to that. It's like you can't drown out this message. It rings true so truly and deeply.
What I thought was cool about this too is that at first her speech isn't very incinerating or incinerator, whatever, flammable.
She builds up.
But
she's a good orator.
Yeah, she is. But she's had lots of time to think.
Yeah, and she could have done how many takes of this, but,
sorry.
But yeah, she has the conviction to really speechify here.
Yeah. But what's so good about this, and maybe Marva thought about this too, but they can't turn her off really, because they have to at least let it happen long enough to try to find Cassian. So like even though they're like, fuck this, like this is propaganda, like this is gonna be inciting a riot potentially or whatever, like this is shit we don't want people to be saying, they can't turn it off because like they're searching for Cassian. You know what I mean? Like she probably thought about that and be like, well, I'm gonna get at least 75% through it before they really get to turn it off. She's like, so
I didn't even think about her being aware of that.
Yeah, I think she did. I think she was like, oh, like I think that she kind of knew like she's gonna at least have this amount of time before.
Did she know she was being spied on?
I would guess that Bix and Brasso probably told her that. And she probably knew, because like even whenever Cassian was he had killed the two corpos.
She knew. Maybe she did expect they would allow her funeral to go on to draw out Cassian. Yeah,
well, I don't think but yeah, I love that everyone showed up anyway. Like they were supposed to only be limited to 40 people and it was more like 400 people. Her speech was super moving. I don't know who throws the first punch. I think the Imperial people, it is them. They come into the square, try to cover up the projection, and then I think Brasso is the first one to fight back. And he like square like
No, he kicks him in the chest. Yeah,
and that guy like flies backwards.
He's so tall. He just like plants his boot in the middle of that guy's chest.
And he's so strong and big and tall. Like this guy will fuck you up. And he works in like some kind of mining blue collar like muscle job. So this guy's like he's like beating the shit out of some like probably like I don't know, scrawny Imperial dude kind of thing. Like they don't seem to, they're not as muscular as him at least. But yeah,
he headbutts a stormtrooper at one point.
Yeah, he's intense in these scenes. But basically, all of Ferrex is just like gung ho now. Like we've got full riot. People are fighting. That kid from the shop, the garage shop, he made a pipe bomb.
Yeah,
he's over here like fuck shit up, throws that thing. It's like this domino effect of other explosions. Man, and talk about chaos at this point. Like Dedra is out here looking for Cassian. She's got to give that up. She starts to get like trampled at one point. Oh, and Cyril is there. We forgot to mention that in the last episode.
He comes with the Scottish sergeant.
Yeah, they're like there to like try again.
The Scottish sergeant, by the way, is honestly the reason why Cyril got fired, and
Yeah.
he's the one who like tells Cyril like when the chief inspector's gone.
He's like, I believe in you, sir. We should do that.
we
That's
can go do
definitely the
this.
right thing to do.
Like
yeah.
Cyril just kind of just like goes along with this.
Yeah, like he wants to, but he's affirmed by this.
Like
guy.
the sergeant like goes like organizes it all, and he's like, okay, sir, now here like give your speech. And
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, no, he's like getting them in trouble again here. He like calls them out of the blue and was like, "Hey, I found out Cassian Andor's mom died.
Oh.
He might show up at the funeral."
Yeah.
So we got these two dumb fucks. I guess they're gonna do some vigilante justice, try to bring Cassian Andor in.
Yeah, but Cassian does a good job. He pretty much avoids Dedra and her people. Kills a couple of them.
Who doesn't avoid her is Cyril when he like saves her life and wins her heart.
Yeah, she's like, I guess I should say thank you. I was like, duh. But I think it's funny because, like, from her context, the last time she saw this guy was when he stalked her on that bridge and was like, hey, I just wanted to say thanks and also, like, hire me. And she's like, no, if I ever see you again, I'll kill you or whatever. She doesn't say that, but it's something like that. And then, like, the next time she goddamn sees this guy is on a fucking Ferrex when she knows that he's looking for Cassian. Like, but in her brain, she probably immediately thinks, like, this guy's so obsessed with me that he came all the way to Ferrex.
And then she thinks, and I'm glad he did, because I would be dead otherwise.
She's like, oh, damn, am I into this now? She's like, before I thought it was creepy, but now I'm like, maybe?
I guess we're talking more about, like, season 2, but there's I've heard a lot of speculation about Cyril's respect for authority and why that might appeal to Dedra.
Well, yeah.
Like...
He likes to be told what to do.
Sometimes bootlickers are literal.
Ew, okay. Anyway. So Cassian, also under all of this, like, chaos, uses this cover to go rescue Bix out of the hotel. And this poor girl is literally just, like, a shell of a human right now. But, what I thought was absolutely stunning was, like, during, like, the funeral scenes, we see Bix, like, clinging to the window, like, wanting to be a witness of Marva's funeral. Because Marva is, like, a mom figure to her. And so, like, she starts kind of, like... And she's, like, out of her mind. Like, she's literally, like... I don't even know. Like, scrambled, I guess. And I really felt like this funeral anchored her. Like, brought her, like, consciousness forward a little more. Like, she needed something familiar.
She was cut off from everything, and here she had to hear, like, a familiar voice.
Right, a familiar... Well, not
that
even
would, like,
just
resonate deeply.
But not even just, like, Marva's voice, but, like, the song.
Yeah.
She was singing along with the song, and she listened to Marva's speech, and she was crying. Like, she was very... He's just drinking water. But he's... The
context of the speech.
Yeah, and she says... Marva says something specific that I think was very impactful to
If
Bix.
she could do it again, she wishes she would have woke up sooner.
Yeah. And then I think that's really important, though, because I don't think Cassian would have been as successful at rescuing Bix if she had been moved forward. And like when they were saying Stone and Sky, she started chanting that too. So you like have this like she's like being... I don't want to say, like, brought forward, but, like, I feel like it's, like, regrounding her
she's, like,
mind.
participating in, like, the traditional group activity that is, like, ingrained into you after so many years, Yeah,
and so I think that adds to her escape because we saw before, like, she was literally being dragged by an Imperial into her, like, bedroom prison. And, like, when Cassian comes to get her, she's much more mobile. But it takes time to, like, gently persuade her to leave. Like, she's so worried about making the Imperials angry because she doesn't want to be fucking, like, brutally, mentally tortured, like, over and over again. You know, so she's become much more compliant. But I do think, like, her seeing Cassian, like, It makes her, I think, more believable that he's real, too. Because I thought that, and the first time I watched it, I was like, she's not even going to think he's, like, a real person. You know what I mean? Like, she's so gone. Like, she's going to be like, am I just imagining this?
Seeing things, yeah.
But I'm glad that she got rescued. And I'm glad how they handle it, too. I love how gentle Cassian is with her.
Where they set it up for, well, go ahead.
For season 2, like, yeah.
Yeah, with most of the characters going to, like, a farming moon.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cassian runs into the arms of Luthen.
Yeah.
Like, after that time in prison, he's like, yeah, I'm ready to go fuck
He's
these
like,
dudes up.
I'm radicalized now.
And I also just heard, like, my mom's speech.
Yeah.
But
also, what's cool is Luthen got to hear her speech.
Yeah.
So he knows, like...
He knows this guy is in it to win it.
Yeah, like, but, like, Luthen, Vel, and Cinta are there to kill Cassian, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so, like... It's cool that doesn't work out.
I love Cinta and the Imperial Spy when they're like...
We've been having a spy off for weeks.
Yeah.
And now I get to kill you.
Yeah, and how she with, like, no hesitation.
She's brutal, man.
Yeah.
And poor Vel. Like, Vel just is a big old softie. She's like, I just want to have my cute girlfriend and, like be soft and stuff. Sometimes I feel like this is how we are. I'm like, I just want to be soft and have a good time. And you're like, the world is in shambles. I can't be happy. And I'm like, oh, okay, but can we, like cuddle? And you're like, you know what I mean? And, like, that's how Vel is. She's like, can we just cuddle? And Cinta's like, no, my blood is boiling for the death of the Empire. Like, you're just a rich girl, and my whole family was killed by stormtroopers. And, like, Cinta makes a great rebel, but a terrible girlfriend, you know? And
Yeah.
Vel does not
But see,
fucking
it's like
know
that same thing. It's kind of like Mon Mothma having to sacrifice being a good mom. It's like,
Yeah.
what a terrible cost to ask anyone to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a complex thing. It's like Shakespearean in its range of humanity
Yeah.
that it explores.
Yeah,
We like the show.
Yeah, so much. But I love the end scene where Cassian is on Luthen's ship and basically says, kill me or die, or kill me or take me. And I just love that Luthen just smiles. Like, this is what he wanted from episode 2.
He wanted to recruit him.
Yeah, and he wasn't ready yet. That's like when I'm like, there's so much character growth in all this. Like, I think that's what, like, really solidifies, like, that prison stuff is so cool, you know? Like, he's getting such a unique perspective. And then his mom being, like, you know, excited about the Aldani thing and realizing, like, oh, I could be doing more. Like, Marva would be doing more if she could. And it's almost like like, it changes the perspective of not him just, like, learning all of this and on his own feeling it, but it's also at this point where Marva's passed, it's, like, carrying on her legacy. Like, he, like, has the torch. Like, she handed the torch to him, and now it's his turn to move it forward. But, yeah. Obsessed. What an amazing show.
Yeah, I think that's everything I had to... as soon as we're done, I'm going to think of, like, a thousand more things.
I know.
I
should have said
this.
Yeah, that cool shot, and I wanted to bring
like,
that up.
We didn't talk about, like, the cereal with the blue milk, or, like, the little
yeah.
Bantha toy that Cassian had, or how, like, he did, like, his childhood war paint to match his sisters, or, like, it's such a deep show. We'll definitely, if we make more Star Wars content in the future, we'll come back to Andor.
We'll do a deep dive, episode by episode. We'll do, like, a 3-hour show for one episode.
I'm looking forward to waiting a year, and then so what my plan is that next year I want to rewatch Andor and then Rogue One right before we go see the re-released Star Wars with the original 1977 effects that they're re-releasing next year.
Yeah.
I just want to do, like, Andor and then Rogue One and then go into that. Because, like, this feels like such a companion piece to that movie. Like, this, so much of this feels like that 1970s Star Wars style that I grew up on. So,
yeah.
But I'm looking forward to watching some Star Wars Rebels next, and then talking about that.
We were under 3 hours. I'm impressed.
Yeah, we did really good. So that means it's not even midnight yet, right? So
it's almost midnight,
cool. Well, maybe we can watch some of these Rebels shorts, but just to talk a little bit about what we have coming up next on the other Star franchise. Our next show, we're going to be focusing on the entire first season, right, of Star Wars Rebels.
Oh, let me double check that. I think so.
But It's also going to be including the shorts that are available on Disney Plus. But there's 4 Rebels shorts that take place before season 1. So
yeah, we're tracking for April 21st all of Rebels season 1.
Okay, and then we'll be doing Rebels and Andor together after that. So this is the era of Star Wars I've been most excited to talk about. I am really, really looking forward to more Andor, and I'm really, really looking forward to Rebels.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the original trilogy.
Thanks for hanging in here for 3 hours as we talk about Andor. I would say gushing.
Yeah,
we're not talking, we're gushing.
You did a good job. You did a great job.
You do.
But remember, the Empire is for bootlickers. Be a rebel, and may the Force be with you.